What up?
I need that sports encyclopedia. Where you at, Steve Kim? Got Trent in the cut. Yeah. Where you at, man? In the gym shooting, I'm Durant. You ain't shooting John Moran.
Darnell is the Ball State legend. I'm the Warren Central High School legend.
I'm proving with a reliable source, straight from the mouth of the horse. Smitty and JB and Smitty from West Coast to Yost.
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
Better stay in your lane. Hop into
you are fucking insane. Dude, what? You just will not give this guy his flowers. What is wrong with you?
Oh, you must have thought I was a bitch.
I am him. Use not it. What's the topic? With your logic when I flow. Big Komodo, how it's talking.
You gotta get back to letting the baby cry a little bit to see if they can soothe themselves.
That's a bar.
Issues get pressed so pass it or get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown killed it, yeah, it's a rap. We what the game's been missing. We switched it and filled the gap.
I identified him after his third fight, and I said that guy should be a star.
I'm so proud of the show, bro.
The gap. Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB show.
What up? We are in the building. It's Work Boot Wednesday. Strap up your hard hats, tie up your work boots. We are in the building. Appreciate everybody joining us on this fine early morning on the West Coast, 9 a.m. on the East Coast, and I've been hearing the sun is different. It ain't the same sun no more. That's all I've been seeing. Videos all over the place. I've been seeing videos everywhere. The sun is different. It's white now. It's not yellow. It doesn't rise no more from the east, setting in the west. It just pops up on you. I don't know if you've seen all this. Go check it out. Another new conspiracy theory on the Coach AB Show with Big Smitty. All right, let's dive into this show. We got a lot going on. Pound that like. Subscribe to our winnable.com/slappicks, our first down package, and download the Discord app, Slap Nation. Become a member today. And we got a loaded lineup. Steve Kim makes a special Wednesday appearance on the show because he's going to Vegas to cover some boxing this weekend in Vegas. So today will be his day, his second day of the week on the show. So go check that out. He'll be here in a few minutes or in about an hour. We're going to break down some more stuff. Plus, we're going to do a lot of football with Steve Kim today. A lot of football. Plus, of course, his wheelhouse in some boxing. So we're going to check it out. But let's dive into this show right out the gate. It's also brought to you by betonline.ag, Prize Picks, and winnable.com/slappicks. But we got a little intro that I want to address to everybody real quick. And it could be it's going to start off as a banger. But, yes, everybody in there, the sun is ending. The sun is, like, different, they're saying. It's not the same sun. They say there's a glitch in the matrix. I hate hearing the glitch in the matrix shit. When I hear that shit, I'm like, what the fuck is a glitch in the matrix? It doesn't make sense. It's not a real thing. There's no glitch in the matrix. I'm not going to conspiracize that deep in this thing. So I don't believe there's a fucking glitch in the matrix. I think it's hot because we had shitty winter. It is what it is. Shit happens. You know what I did find out? I found out over my 48 years that life figures itself out. It'll figure it out. It'll figure it out. The world will figure it out. All this shit will figure itself out. I'm just telling you. That's just what I've come to realize over life. Just throwing that out there. So, we are live. Let me tell all the Twitter folks to help Smitty out. All right, let's dive into this. Make sure y'all listen to this one. No integrity, no nuts, no guts. Why coach? Why teach? Go work at Lowe's like John Havesi, Florida's offensive line coach under Dan Mullen, if you don't want to make an impact on someone's life. That's right. John Havesi, former offensive line coach at Florida under Dan Mullen, now works at Lowe's. Good friend of mine, now works at Lowe's. Go do that if you don't want to make an impact on someone's life. Coaching is teaching, and it's about life off the field that makes players remember their coach, not for what play they called on the field. Mike Gundy, head coach at Oklahoma State, said this about his star running back after his DUI arrest.
He's going to play, and I'm going to do what we think is best for Oklahoma State football, and I think it's best for Ollie to play. If there's any punishment, it's make him carry the ball 50 times in the first game.
Quote unquote, he's going to play. I'm going to do what we think is best for Oklahoma State football. And I think it's best for Ollie Gordon to play. If there's any punishment, it's to make him carry the ball 50 times in his first game. That was, quote, Cowboy football coach, head coach, Mike Gundy. Now, some of you can argue that this is an incentive to all the people out there that Ollie could have killed that night behind the wheel, or himself for that matter. It's an incentive to that young man that, all these things could have been over. So now we're going to put you on the field and keep your mind optimistic. And luckily no one was hurt or injured or killed. So here's 50 carries. By executing, this is kind of bothers me, but Ollie could have killed many people that night behind the wheel, which we see on a continued basis. A young man just lost his life, a rookie, the other day. Ollie could have killed many people, could have killed himself. And Gundy dismissed it all. He dismissed it as it didn't happen. But this is who Gundy is, people. I'm just letting you know. This is who he is. He is a person with very little integrity. Yes, he is. And this is coming from someone, me, with personal hands-on experience in dealing with this shady shyster cat. He cares about one person, and that's himself. This is why we will continue to see an uprising in off-the-field crimes, DUIs, deaths behind the wheel, reckless driving, and basic dumbass kid shit. Make no mistake about it, kids fuck up. But when it goes unpunished, it piles up, continues to grow out of control. And then it is ultimately uncontrollable. And coaches lose the locker. Players transfer at the first sign of any adversity. And we have what we have. The fucking wild, wild west. Don't disrespect women. Be on time. No fighting. No drugs or alcohol. And bottom line, police each other. Just a few of Coach JB's non-negotiables in his program. You do those things, you're not going to play. I don't give a fuck who you are. Big money requires big decisions, Gundy. And this decision will be one that we look back on. And the next time a kid does something foolish and it gets dismissed. Let's dive into this show. Oklahoma State head coach Mike Gundy says I've probably done this 1,000 times in my life when talking about Ollie Gordon's DUI arrest, meaning I've drank and drive. NFL scouts reportedly view Stephon Diggs' trade as addition by subtraction for the Bills. That's someone on this show has said several times, I think. Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire says Deion Sanders is the best father of players he's ever had. We will break down the Ryan Garcia situation with Steve Kim, talk Washington Huskies and Oregon Ducks football as we continue to stay on the West Coast, as we continue to break down the Big Ten. But before we begin, my self-esteemed co-host, Naptown legend, 317 Far East Sider, LeBron James hairline having, Lamar Jackson loving, AR5 defending, Caitlin Clark jocking, Fox Sports Radio. Steve, welcome, man.
Good morning, all my friends, my family, my loved ones, my supporters, and my haters. And most importantly,
Good morning to my guy, Bailey behind the scenes, and the one and only Coach JB. JB, I've been seeing you online everywhere, man. You know the new NCAA 25 is coming out this weekend, and all my homies continue to send me videos of you. People saying, this is me prepping my team or motivating my team, getting ready for this and that. I've seen all types of just, behind-the-scenes stuff of using you to promote the game, like everywhere, TikTok, Instagram. There has to be a way to get you on the game. And I have a very clever idea that I want to pitch to you and Bailey. I do it behind the scenes. I might type it in the chat, but I want to try something out to see what we can do.
I don't want to be on that game if they're paying me. I'm not going to be on no video game. Fuck
Think
them.
big picture, though. Think big picture.
Yeah, fuck that. I've thought big picture. 400 million people on Netflix. They fucked me. Fucking, I ain't got a dime from Netflix. 400 million motherfuckers saw me. I'm still on there, by the way. I'm the only show that's still on Netflix from my era. I don't know if you know that.
You're still in there right now.
I'm still on Netflix. Fuck NCAA and college football and everyone using my name out there. How am I not getting paid? And everybody out there using my fucking name. Like, it's fuck these.
Well, that's social media. You can't get paid for that, my guy.
Man, fuck these motherfuckers.
What's up?
But show me whatever you got. Let's. But I ain't doing no free shit. I'm done doing free shit. I'm done bending over. Shit. Let's dive into quote of the day because we got to get right into this Gundy thing, as I just eloquently stated to start the show off. Let's dive into the quote of the day brought to you by betonline.ag. What up, man? The real Coach JB here for the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty. We got a proud new sponsor, of course, for the second part of the year, and that's BetOnline. Continue to be your number one source for all basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. March Madness is here. Join us every Monday and Friday with Jeff Nadu as we will pick them and up-to-minute odds, stats, and trends. You can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop to your mobile device. Head on over to BetOnline today. Become part of the team and remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for 50% off plus welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Peace. Hey, Smitty, Evan Volpe, who's a fucking absolute bottom-feeding nobody in the chat, he said, how were you able to start your own whiskey and cigar line at one point if you weren't getting residuals? Can you explain the difference between a residual and a royalty? I don't know. I don't think people understand the difference, number one. Number two, because I'm that motherfucker, Evan Volpe, you bitch-ass motherfucker, that's why. Because I'm the hustler, motherfucker. You don't think I was going to do it anyway? You must not know me very well. Again, assumptions make assholes of us all, and that's clearly what Evan Volpe is. He's a fucking idiot, troll, bottom feeder. But I haven't got a dime from Netflix. Not one fucking dime. So, contrary to your belief, and I still have a cigar line, by the way, and I'm thinking about doing the whiskey again with someone else. But anyway, I love when I hear, how did you do the because I'm that motherfucker. That's why. Shit. What do you mean, why, motherfucker? You motherfuckers all assume. I don't know how embarrassing that I would be if I went out there and said, Evan Volpe, how did you stick your micro penis in your girl's vagina? How did you do it? How did you get it wet enough and hard enough to stick it in there? She did not feel it. How do you know? It's like taking Pinky and putting it in my earwax and rubbing her clit. How did you know how to do it? Like, if I would have just started doing that to everybody in the chat, wouldn't you be thinking it's embarrassing, Smitty, to just assume shit? This motherfucker he assumes shit every day on the show, and he makes a fucking ass of himself. And you know what? He's a member. Let's keep him in here.
All that being said, he's a member.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's green. He's green. No, you didn't strike a nerve. You're just talking to a real one that actually chooses to address your fucking nobody ass. That's what it is. So you should feel gracious and actually say, you know what? I get to engage with the host of the show. Unlike other shows that won't even address me, and I'm just in there talking.
Hey, y'all, if this was the Big Smitty show and that was it, you would not be getting addressed. So be thankful that the star of this show is actually paying you some mind. Because I done told JB so many times, just ignore these motherfuckers. They trolling you. They're doing it because they want you to do what you just did.
Yeah.
JB is giving it to you, Paul. So be thankful.
Yeah. Like Caleb Downham. Let's go. I don't even understand if this is English. Let's go a bumfell JUCO coach. I don't know what that means. But my 28 guys.
Ain't a failed JUCO coach.
I got you. Yeah. BPS. My 28 guys in the NFL getting a check today, though. Sure. Thank me.
Ooh.
Hey, let's dive into quote of the day. Brought to you by betonline.ag. Smitty, the best way to predict your future is to create it. Real simple.
Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, man. The actions that you do today, you perform today, directly impacts and affects your tomorrow. Every single decision you make has an effect. Every action has a reaction, is basically what I'm saying. And every step of the way, us deciding to wake up this morning led to the show. If we didn't wake up, there would be no show. Us deciding the time we woke up. Everything you do matters. So I like that a lot.
Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there. Prize Picks. Use the promo code Coach JB. What we dwell on is who we become. Contrary to belief. Contrary to belief.
It's right here, JB. It's right here. If you think about negativity and what you don't have, and while life's not fair, and that's constantly what you think about, then you will always be without. But if you think in a matter of, I can do this, I can change my situation, let me be active, let me go be proactive, then in my own experiences, things just align and go your way. And I know that sounds so, but I'm telling you, people always ask, Darnell, how'd you get to Fox? How'd you get to this? How'd you get to that? I'm not anybody special, y'all. I just worked my ass off. I believe in a higher power. That's what I do. You believe what you believe in. And when the things just align, things just happen my way and opportunities just come. So that's my advice from Big Smitty. And that's why I love that quote. JB's coming at you today with two simple but very powerful quotes. And I hope you guys are listening and taking notes of it.
It's like yesterday, I didn't see. I don't apologize unless I want to admit it straight on the scene, right? I want to apologize to Smitty because I want to use the word apologize specifically because I don't apologize. I'm apologizing to Smitty because Smitty mentioned Project 2025 yesterday, and I didn't listen to him. I didn't know what he was saying, so I had to go back and watch it, and then I've sent him about 30 things since. It's the same thing. It's like Smitty just told me what he should be telling himself about that whole propaganda bullshit. Smitty,
no comment.
Smitty, don't be listening to motherfuckers up there.
No comment. I gotta now do more of my own research before I can respond to that.
Yeah, shit, I would have never even said nothing. Let's dive into the poll question.
I gave you and Billy 2-3 days, so I'm gonna give myself 2-3 days, and I'm responding to y'all. We're gonna just keep going back, which is good. We just learning. We just learning and growing together. I love it.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about something totally different. I was like, wait up, I know Smitty ain't talking about that shit.
You never listen to me though, so I'm used to that. Like,
I do listen
on the show,
but I did hear you yesterday, and that's.
But you heard, but you didn't listen. That's difference. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's totally on me because I always preach. Don't hear me, listen. And I didn't do it.
Is this a pause right here? I know we don't say pause in the show anymore, or no Diddy or anything, but like, what does he mean by this?
Oh,
this comment on the screen, Drewski. I don't understand.
Has he seen your stuff or something?
There's no way. Unless he hacked into my house.
Was he next to you, like in the bathroom or something, or doing some weird shit? Or
see, that's what I'm saying. I don't be knowing who our fans are. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know who he looks like. I don't know who he even looks like.
Have you ever seen a motherfucker just be like, "Watch it? Why are you pissed?" Because
nothing comes to mind. It's just sometimes you're like a public bathroom, motherfucker walk past, and you kind of like they just close. They closer than what you want them to be, so you kind of like, hey, what? You know what I'm saying? but nothing comes to mind right now where I'm like, so somebody, like I saw somebody look at me.
If somebody comments on your meat, that's a weird motherfucker, man. I just got to be honest. That's like just a weird motherfucker. Like there's
some things you just don't do.
There's no other thing about it. Like why would we even bring that up? Like it's like weirdo.
It's 6:20 in the morning. Like how did they even come to your mind? Like why is my meat on your mind? And you're a man. I mean, I think your name is Juice. I assume you're a man.
That's weird shit, homie.
Different world we live in, JB.
Even if it was a female, it would be weird, right? If it was a female, just a talk that you never met, like,
right. It's weird regardless. I don't like y'all don't know me, you know. But then it makes it even more weird that it's a grown ass man. So
yeah, it's some weirdo shit.
Let's go ahead and move forward. I'm a little uncomfortable right now, so let's move forward. I'm gonna try to like ignore what I saw and like clear my brain of the history, and we're gonna just move forward.
You know how to clear out your history on your computer and shit. You know how to do that.
You ever watch Men in Black? Any of them when they walk in with the little stick thingy? Yeah, that's what I need right now. Just kind of forget everything.
Yeah. Before we do the quote of the day, I want to get your take on I'm sorry. The
contrast. No, we did that too, didn't we? Poll question.
Poll question. I've been on my last few days, dog. I've been grinding. Poll question. Before we do the poll question, let's talk about my lead-in, Coach Gundy.
Yes.
And everybody that asks about Matt and where's this guy and that guy, dog, I told y'all I got this. You need to worry about yourself. And Matt will be back on the show. I'm telling you right now. I know he will be. So like,
I know he will be.
Relax. All right. So, this guy started the show lead-in with make him carry the ball 50 times a game. That's his punishment. I started the show off, Smitty, by having some, non-negotiables I mentioned. I spoke to quite a few coaches and former players yesterday when he came out with this whole crazy stuff. I just think that we've lost all integrity as leaders, mentors, leaders of men, coaches, captains of the ship, all that type of shit. We've lost it because we're so scared to lose the kid to a portal or because of the bag they're getting on NIL from another place. So make it make sense real quick, Smitty. So you're telling me that if he said there's too much money involved, A, he said that basically he alluded that these players will leave us if we suspend them or discipline them. B, let me be real clear here. So you're telling me this guy can he can get a DUI, put some people's lives at risk plus his own, my star player, which I haven't taught anything to, because I'm just going to give him the keys again. Here you go. Here's the keys that you just drove drunk in the car to. Here's the keys. Instead of taking the keys, like the movie Program, when the coach took Joe's keys, if you remember that fine movie, we're not teaching anything anymore. And shame on the coach that actually would take this guy in the portal when the other coach actually disciplines that guy. Shame on you. I'm not even going to shame on Gundy. I'm shaming on the coach that will take you from that program that went undisciplined, because that is who I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be the coach that actually took that guy. And until we get that in order, Smitty, these kids will continue to do what they do. They'll continue to hold the coaches hostage, and they'll continue to make this a player empowerment-driven league, which players don't know what they don't know. They're not old enough yet. They don't have experience enough yet. They need us. Every player and every coach has one bond, Smitty, and you can attest to this. Regardless of if you agree or disagree to my overall take, you can remember this. Coach so-and-so did X, Y, and Z for me. Coach so-and-so got me out of jail. Coach so-and-so helped me when my baby mama got pregnant. Coach so-and-so got me out of a pinch at 3 a.m. Coach so-and-so took care of me and my partners. Coach so-and-so got my mama a couch. Coach so-and-so paid my mama's light bill under the table on the low, and Coach so-and-so paid my mom a rent. It wasn't nothing to do with Coach so-and-so. He had a hell of a stunt for me, and I held the fucking guard, and then my player came right off my ass, and I got a sack. You don't fucking say that 30 years later.
Right.
Like, you talking about what the coach did for you off the field. And these cats are continuing to not put that impression on these youngsters. And these youngsters are going to shit on these cats every chance they get, Smitty. And you know what? I'm not even going to blame the kid and say he's a bad kid. I'm saying the kids only know what they know, and they're only doing what they're being told and taught. So if this kid is being told and taught it's okay to do X, Y, and Z because you didn't kill nobody, you got away with it, continue to do it and expect a different fucking result. Is insanity, dog. And the coach is at fault on this one. But and trust me, I started it off because I know this motherfucker, and he's a fucking personal, all about self. This is who this man is. He's tried to do several shady things to some of my players behind my scenes. So I never let Oklahoma State on my campus. Booted him out of my office. Listen, this is documented. This is not a guy that I want my players playing for, and this is evident why. Because I'm suspending Ali for I don't know how long. And guess what? Ali's going to be at the forefront of everything, doing everything. He's going to do everything. Or transfer. I'm not begging you and kissing your ass and sucking your dick, motherfucker. This is why we're so fucked up. This is why we are so fucked up. And not only Smitty did we start to show off with what he said, it got worse, Smitty. Like he doubled down, and I'm all for doubling down if it's something that actually means something. But take a listen to this guy talking about him drinking and driving, and it's okay.
I looked it up on my phone. What would be the legal limit? Like in Oklahoma is 0.08, and Ollie was 0.1. So I looked it up, and it was based on body weight. Not to get into the legal side of it, but I thought really 2 or 3 beers or 4. I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm telling you what decision I made. Well, I thought I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life. And I, it's just fine. So I got lucky. People get lucky. Ollie made a decision that he wished he could have done better. But when I talked to Ollie, I told him, I said, you're lucky you got out light because you make a lot of money to play football.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in.
Go ahead, Smitty, because before you do, I just wanted to say one thing. If that was said just a few years ago, he's fired or on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Right?
I've never heard a coach say that.
Now, though, this is becoming the norm, by the way. The coaches are starting to say more shit that's just like outlandish shit because they can. Because now it's a pay-for-play. It's not a amateurism sport anymore. There is no more mentoring and fathering these kids now. These coaches have agreements now with their ADs and bosses saying, you ain't firing me for XYZ because these motherfuckers are making this money now. So whatever I do and say is null and void on my contract. I can't get fired for these things. I've actually seen these things in literature. So this is a fucking wild, wild west. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. No, we agree on this 100%, man. I think one of the biggest things that a coach's job is to do is to help mold you into a man. And there are certain moments outside of the football side of things that are very important along that journey in which a coach has to recognize the moment and execute at a high level in order to help lead to that end result of making you a man. This is one of those examples. Your star running back put himself in a position where he could have harmed himself and harmed or killed others. And instead of using this moment as an example for himself and for his other teammates and to set a standard in your program, you instead not even give him a slap on the wrist. You didn't give him anything. You're actually defending why you're not punishing him at all. And then want to, say, and I took this as like a little in jest or a little bit of a joke a little bit. His punishment is making him carry the ball 50 times in the first game. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. And then you want to go out here and explain. And anytime someone says, well, I'm not defending him, what he did. I'm just telling you, no, you're defending what he did by saying, you know what? I myself have drink and drive. A lot of people have drink and drive. Okay, cool. I'm not being a hypocrite. A lot of us probably have drink and drove, and like you said, we got lucky. We didn't get caught. We didn't get pulled over. Didn't get in an accident, whatever the case may be. But two things can be true. Just because you've done that yourself and other people have done that themselves doesn't mean that it's okay for your player to do that now that you are in a different position, now that you are a grown-ass man, or at least you're supposed to be. There's supposed to be a separation between coach and player. And right now, based upon the way he's talking, it sounds like you are a player. That's something that a teammate would say. Hey, don't worry about that, Ali, bro. Listen, hey, you messed up. But listen, we done all been there before, bro. Listen, I didn't been out before. I didn't party, didn't drink too much. Man, you good, bro. Don't worry about that, man. You a superstar. You about to be the Heisman. You going to the league next year, bro. Don't worry about that. That's how he sounds, like a player. Again, I'm not saying suspend him the entire season. I'm not here to really argue about the specifics of the punishment, but there needs to be a punishment. Since we were little kids, parents, coaches, whatever, if you made a mistake, you did something wrong, there would be some sort of discipline, whether that's an actual ass whooping, a slap on the hand with a cone like my grandma would do. In school, they make you stand in the corner and hold books over your head. It's human nature to where if we are disciplined from a mistake, naturally your mindset will be like, I ain't doing that again. I ain't doing that again. So if you suspend this cat, let's say 6 games, you know what I'm saying? 6 games, you mess up some of his NIL money.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't give him that many games.
What would you do?
I wouldn't. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wouldn't.
No, you good. And again, I'm just using, before you jump in, I'm using 6 as like a fucking example. 2 games, like whatever it is, there just has to be something to where he can like sit back, watch his team play while he's not playing and be like, damn, I messed up. You know what I mean? I'm
going to go into coaching mode, but I've never had a DUI. I've never been close to having one. Never got one. I've had coaches that I've known that have 3, 4, 5 DUIs, and I look at them like, how the fuck do you get a DUI? How do you fucking get a DUI? How do your ass either A, get in the car if you're fucking that loaded, B, not pull over or understand that you're that lit? But how do you do it? Not once, not twice, not 3 times in one of my coaching buddies' instances, but 4 times. You got 4 DUIs. You need to have your license taken, dog, at that point. Yep. Like there's no ifs and buts about it. Let me dive into what I would have did. 6 games, no, because you just suspended Cam Sutton for 8 games for beating a woman, throwing her down a flight of stairs, and running from the cop. DUI is a mistake, no question, but it's an ignorant one. Like it's an unavoidable mistake, in my opinion. I actually don't call it a mistake. I call it a decision. DUIs are a bad decision. DUIs are a bad decision, period. That's what it is. No, you guys believe me when I troll you and tell you that I'm driving drunk, you fucking idiots. You guys are fucking morons. And DMV living. No, it's not coming because I don't do stupid shit, you dumb fuck. But anyway, it tells me a lot about you're wishing the demise on people in the chat. It's fucking unbelievable, you fucking cunt, cowardly cunt. But let me dive in.
Get in your tape. Don't let me survive.
Here's the issue. 6 games too harsh if Cam Sutton got 8 for throwing a girl down the stairs.
Well, that's NFL though, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying though. This is
it's different rules though. You can't. That's whole.
Yeah, but I'm just putting it in perspective. 6 games would be too much for me coaching Ollie. What I would do is, it would probably be the first game or first 2. But I would take his keys for the entire football season. And if you got caught driving during the football season, you're suspended for the rest of the season. And I'm taking your draft status away now because you chose to kill someone without knowing or not knowing. You chose the opportunity to put yourself at risk and put someone else's family at risk out there. I'm taking your car keys. That is the example. That is the shock treatment that I like to call it, that this kid would understand. Damn, coach took my fucking keys. In 5 years from now, when he's in the NFL, it'll save his life, and we won't have another Henry Ruggs situation. So that's the issue. Take his fucking keys. And that is the shock treatment you need to do. But to tell him I'm going to give you the ball 50 times and endorse his behavior, to me, is fucking crazy talk. Like, it's just crazy. I never seen nothing like it. So anyway, let's dive into. Let's move in. Not quote, but poll question, Smitty. On top of that lead in, is a good one. Let's start with you. I'll ask it to you and ask everybody in the chat. Make sure everybody drops it in there. And it's early. I hate doing these preemptive strikes on these things, but we have to do it because that's what's starting to become a big thing on social media. Who would you bet on? Listen to the question. I didn't listen to Smitty yesterday when he talked about Project 2025, and I would have had to get in his ass yesterday, but I forgot. Who would you bet on to win the NFL MVP today? On betonline.ag. Go make a bet. Go make a bet. Go make a bet right now on Prize Picks. Bet online. Winnable. Who would you bet your money on today to win the MVP? Not during the season, not in November. Today, who are you betting on? Who you're putting your money on right now today? Smitty, me and you are going to make a bet right now. Who are you betting on?
So usually when you place money on somebody, like you want favorable odds. Like the goal.
Hey, Dave Portnoy's done it like 3 times. He's like the best bettor in the world. You got a lot of money though. Scared money don't make money.
Right. But the goal is to make money. You don't want to bet on like the obvious names because you might make a little bit, sure, but like you want to make some real money though, right?
Yeah. But
so for me, I got 2 answers.
I gave you $1 million to fuck off.
Yeah.
I got so much money. I gave you $1 million. I said, Smitty, don't use this $1 million for your house or not. This is for you to make this bet. I got you I got some more money for you on some other shit if you need it. If you choke this money off, I got other money for you.
I got 2 names for you, JB. I got 2
names.
Remember,
if you pick someone that I think I'm going to take the money away from you, I'll never give you another dime. But go ahead.
I got an obvious name and I got my dark horse. So I would take that meal and put 500,000 here, 500,000 here. The first name I'm going with, to me, is very obvious. It's Josh Allen. Josh Allen's been super close to winning MVP anyway. He's been in the race the last couple of years. I think this upcoming season, without having Stephon Diggs, without having Gabe Davis, without having any big name receivers, he's already putting the offense on his back anyway because that's how their system rolls. But now it's going to be even another level. And we all know MVPs are based upon narrative. And the narrative right now is that the Bills are not a Super Bowl caliber team this season. So if he's able to carry them to a double-digit win regular season, make it to the playoffs, he'll have his numbers like he always does. I can see Josh Allen clearly winning it. I think he's the easy answer. But my dark horse is Anthony Richardson.
Come on, I know you're not serious, dog.
Anthony Richardson has the abilities both on feet and arm talent.
How can they take you serious?
Shock the world and win an MVP. I can see Anthony Richardson going out here running for over 1,000 yards, throwing for over 3,000 yards, having a very efficient touchdown interception ratio. The Colts winning the AFC South, winning 11, 12 games, and him winning the MVP. I truly can see that. It has nothing to do with my fandom. This is because, again, this MVP is about narrative. No one in the world is talking about the Colts right now. No one believes that the Colts are going to do anything. When we talk about the AFC South, it's the Texans, it's Trevor Lawrence and his money. But if you really know football and you sit back and you look at the roster that the Colts organization has put together, they are stacked. They are stacked. And everything that I'm hearing from my inside sources in Indianapolis is all amazing and positive things about how AR5 is looking and has looked this offseason. Not only that we know he has a big arm, but they're saying he can actually throw the ball accurately. He's gained weight. He's locked in from an intangible standpoint. They're seeing him in the film room. They're seeing him be just a leader. Some of the little things that, on paper you don't see. On a stat sheet, it doesn't show up. But when you actually played and coached the game, you know how important, how vital those little things are. He's a locker room guy. His team believes in him. All these little things, and added with the fact that he's a freak. He's a physical freak. And with the system that Shane Steichen will put together, I can see this cat having an MVP type season. So that's my dark horse, Anthony Richardson. But the easy answer will be Josh Allen. JB, you got the mic. You got the floor.
Fuck. Smitty tells me on this show quite often that, we're not going to get a big deal if you continue to call people in this chat cunt and cuss people out and stuff. I'm going to go back at Smitty. I don't think we're going to get a big deal because Smitty's takes are horrific. That take was a fucking mockery of a sports show. And there's no way you're serious. So rewind and be serious and tell everyone you're fucking around. Go.
Josh Allen, AR5, my two favorites for MVP this season. You guys did not believe me when I said the Mavs will make it to the finals against the Celtics. What happened? You guys are wrong. I'm on a winning streak right now.
That's not AR5. You picked the best fucking team in the NBA. This is not AR5.
Hold on. The Mavs were the best team, or were they the sixth seed?
No,
right there.
You said Boston was going to win.
And I predict that Dallas will be there against them. Don't lie. Don't switch it up now. Don't.
I'm not.
Discredit me.
I'm not saying that.
All
but
right.
I'm just telling you, Boston winning is not AR5 winning an fucking MVP, bro. He's not even fucking played 50 snaps in the NFL season.
One more thing before you go. You always talk about how last year's MVP, Lamar Jackson, how it wasn't a real MVP year. You always come on this show and talk about the downplay of the quarterback position and how each year it continues to get worse and worse and worse, and that the standard for MVP is even less. So you're telling me, based upon what you told me and what you educated me and all these thousands of fans on this show, if what you're saying is right and what you're saying is true, you mean to tell me that Anthony Richardson couldn't see him winning an MVP? You couldn't see him put together a season like Lamar Jackson did just last year and winning an MVP? You think that's just impossible based upon what we're seeing? Again, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and throw 45 touchdowns to 7 picks. That's not his game. But obviously, we've seen Lamar Jackson do it. We even seen one of Peyton Manning's MVPs wasn't like spectacular stats. It was like 27 touchdowns to 8 picks. My point being is each season is its own entity. AR5, I can see him going out there throwing for, let's call it 23 touchdowns to 7 picks. I can see him running for 10, getting 1,000 yards rushing. Coach win the AFC South. They go to the playoffs. Like, everything I'm saying is, I'm not saying anything crazy. Tell me what am I saying that's crazy based upon what I'm giving you? What stat, what scenario am I giving you that's like such a shocker, so crazy that's discrediting the show? Come on, man.
Well,
remove your emotions.
No emotions. I gave you $500,000 to fucking piss down your leg. That's why. I'll never give you money again. I know that. Number one, because that was the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. So you're gonna take a guy that played fucking 50 snaps or less last year over. Let's just break down who you're going to put him over, because the odds would be astronomical, number one. So you're going to take him over Jalen Hurts? No. Jordan Love?
Yes.
No. Dak Prescott? No. I'm not even going to take him over Trevor Lawrence. No. I'm not going to take him over Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to take him over Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to take him over Lamar Jackson. I'm not talking about playing. I'm talking about pure MVP possibilities and odds that he would have to succumb and overcome. Is why you wasted my fucking money. And it's unfucking believable. There's 30 guys that are probably over him on Bet Online right now. Like CMC would be higher rated than him odds-wise to win an MVP. CJ Stroud is ahead of him, MVP. Kirk Cousins would be ahead of him. I bet you Michael Penix Jr. would probably be ahead of him, and he's not even starting yet.
Disrespectful.
It's unbelievable. And then you don't even mention the obvious, like Burrow and Mahomes and Herbert and Stafford. What? Do you know how many guys he has to come over? You literally took my money and fucked me with it. And I just can't ever forgive you. Let's move on.
Lamar Jackson won an MVP in his first full season as a starter. No, none of us predicted that before the season. I guarantee if you look at the preseason odds, he's nowhere near that. I guarantee. Go back to 2019 and find the preseason NFL odds of MVP. I guarantee you won't see a Lamar or a Jackson anywhere at the top tier team. So don't come on here.
Show Quentin Nelson. Show Quentin Nelson. I'm fucking done with this one.
he's weighing in like after practice at like 250 pounds. Like he's like ginormous. He can launch the ball and he can be accurate with it too. Like the plays that he can make, like some of the ones that you've seen, like the flashes of it, it's like, oh my goodness, like this guy's special. But then also how he goes about his business, and like he's not very vocal, I would say, but like he just goes about his business in a way that he's handling it and he's ready at all times. And yeah, he's
special. He's special. Quit.
What is he supposed to say?
Offensive lineman in the game.
What is he supposed to say?
Offensive lineman in the game today.
What is he supposed to say? What's he supposed to say? He's shitty.
He could have been like, you know what? AR5 is showing us really good signs. We're looking forward to him leading us this year. He showed some signs last year before he got hurt of some signs of greatness. We hope that he can continue to do that. He could have kept it real, just like quarterback heel, real PC.
Listen,
he said, nah. This cat is special. Do you see his
Bailey,
eyes when he said it?
Clip this, Bailey. Clip this.
JB, his eye, your eyes told everything. Quinn, he said, listen, that kid is special. If you guys can see what I can see, he's 250 pounds, 6'4". Some of the things he's done at practice right now, oh my God, I've never seen. This guy is
Bailey,
special.
clip this, Bailey. If we're going to be taken serious on this going forward, we got to stop taking crazy asinine takes and being such homers as Smitty is. Smitty is a homer to the T. That is the worst homer take I've ever seen. He just basically jumped over 20 possible MVP candidates and put AR5, a guy who hasn't fucking played, who was under 50% passer at Florida in college, in the MVP conversation with my $500,000. So until he finishes doing those things, we're never going to grow. But I appreciate everybody in the chat and everybody that's still here. Become a member. Become a member, though.
So one more thing. So, JB, so once AR5 is in the MVP conversation this season, what you going to do? Are you going to come in this show and fucking apologize? Are you going to stand down and salute the team? Are you going I mean, what? Like, can I stop you? Like, it has to be some sort of punishment. We talked about Gundy and the head coach and letting you off the hook. I'm not letting you off the hook.
Yeah.
So
I'll do whatever you want.
All right, cool.
I'll do whatever you want.
Conversation closing. We good. Remember this. Cut this, y'all, and save it. Cut this, Gene, Caleb, Logan, D-Zone. Cut this and save it. Thank you. Move on. I'm done with it.
Actually,
move on. I'm done.
Please don't cut it, actually, because we're going to look like fucking buffoons.
You heard.
All right, let's go. Bring my theme music in, Bailey. Bring my theme music in, Bailey. Holy fuck.
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
It's Compton in the house.
Without a doubt.
I'm sipping whiskey, tequila early in the morning because this man across my face has me tripping, singing crazy shit and I'm living. All right, let's dive into
JB.
Make it make sense. Brought to you by who knows, AR5. Let's dive into this. Lawyers for retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre asked a federal appeals court Tuesday to revive a defamation lawsuit versus Brett Favre. From Brett Favre, reissue a lawsuit that he filed versus Pro Hall of Fame member, former tight end Shannon Sharpe, amid the backdrop of a Mississippi welfare scandal that is one of the state's largest public corruption cases ever. A federal judge in Mississippi threw out the lawsuit in October, saying Sharpe used constitutionally protected speech on a sports broadcast, along with Pat McAfee, when he criticized Favre's connection to the welfare misspending case. Favre's lawyer, Amit Vora, told 3 Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals judges in New Orleans that the lawsuit should be revised, arguing that Sharpe accused Favre, who has not been charged with a crime or theft. Sharpe said during a September 22 broadcast of the Fox Sports show, Skip and Shannon at that time, he's no longer there, taking from an undeserved role that he stole money from people that really needed that money. Now, Shannon Sharpe, obviously being from the rural areas and under privileged areas, took it personal, thought he stole money, and the actionable defamation becomes that reasonable listeners are taking the word still literally and not figuratively, says Favre's lawyer. Make it make sense, Smitty. This man played with this man's brother. And I'm curious how that dynamic is, because I've heard out of Brett Favre's mouth himself say that Sterling Sharp is the greatest receiver in the history of football. A lot of people don't realize how good his brother Sterling was before he happened to break his neck. Sterling Sharp was probably, I would argue, top 2 or 3 that I've ever seen in my life in person as well. Like, he was unfucking believable. He was T.O. mixed with Jerry Rice, Michael Irvin mixed with fucking Devontae Adams. Seriously, that's who he was. So now that's actually perfect. The names I just mentioned is who that motherfucker was, by the way, all in one.
Say him again.
Shit, I don't know if I can say it. So it was Devontae Adams was at the end. It was Jerry Rice mixed with T.O. And then you added Devontae Adams at the end, and it made him. I'm just telling you, dog. He was a freak. I don't know the dynamic because I know Favre and Sterling were really tight. And then Shannon now has gone on to ESPN, has started this with Pat McAfee started it, and then you know he owned it. They took it on. They dropped the charges. Favre did. Favre has yet to be a charge, Smitty. That's the thing about it in this case. I just want to make it make sense on that regard. Like, we're bringing this back up. And I thought freedom of speech in the media, because I know the media, because I tried to sue some people in the media for writing a newspaper article about me that was totally false. Can't do it. It's so hard, dog, because they're protected by
Second Amendment rights, freedom of speech.
Well, it's not even freedom of speech. It's freedom of press, which is also in there. Freedom of press is more protected than just freedom of speech, because you can sue people for defamation, like a random cat that out on the street. It's hard to sue a fucking press member for defamation. I'm just telling you, I've learned. So make it make sense. What's your take real quick before you take a commercial break?
I don't have much on this one. It's just, I thought it was over. I remember when it first happened. I remember when the case officially went out, and I know Brett Favre was upset. Like you said, McAfee, Shannon, a few others as well.
So is he bringing it back with McAfee too? Is he bringing it back with McAfee too? Because I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. But I hadn't heard about it for so long. I just kind of assumed that they had settled or he dropped it or whatever. So it's kind of just like you. I'm a little confused on what's going on. Is he having money troubles right now? There's no way he could be. I don't know. It's kind of.
Is it racist? Why are you going after the brother, not McAfee? Is it racist?
I mean, you know how people do. Shouldn't be surprised.
Project 2025. Let Smitty believe it. We'll be back right after this commercial break. Pause. Top 10. All right, I'm gonna get into my top 10. Matt asked yesterday about my top 10, and he spit his out real quick. I'm going to pull mine up on the ticker below so the world can see. You can all fucking go, the fucking chat. 400 people are going to talk shit. I don't fucking care. So here we go. I'm going to go Tom Brady. Here we go. Before I pull it up, I know you guys saw everything. I'm going to use this criteria. You've had to at least, to be in my top 5, have won a Super Bowl, been to Super Bowl, and just one of the elite of elite. All right. That is how my criteria kind of is. So here we go. Tom Brady, who's the GOAT as far as wins. I do not believe he's the best as far as skill set, but I do believe he's the best quarterback. All right. We're not going to get into that fucking thing as far as winning and losing. So that's number 1 for me. I got Troy Aikman because I believe Troy Aikman can travel to any era and be as accurate as any quarterback of all time. He is the fucking people do not You're 40 years old, Matt. How do you not believe in fucking Troy Aikman? You know how good he was? Do you realize how good he was?
The second best quarterback of all time?
Yeah, dog. Do you know how good Troy
fucking Aikman?
Do you know how good he was? Let's get to it. Elway, I got at 3. I got Montana at 4. Manning at 5. Rodgers at 6. Favre at 7. Both of those are very close skill set wise. Both have a Super Bowl, been to 2. Marino at 8. He had 8. Bradshaw at 9 because he won so much. He's not as talented as anyone else. And Steve Young at 10 because of he was the first lefty to really dominate his position. That's my top 10. I'll just let it keep ticking, dog. I'm going to mute my channel. Go ahead.
I don't have a problem with the rest of the top 10, but Troy Aikman even being on the list makes me
You're shitting me, right? You're
it
telling
makes
me
me wanna
Troy
shit
is
my
not a
pants.
top 10 quarterback.
No, here's mine. Brady, Manning, Elway, Montana Marino, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, Steve Young, Mahomes, and Jim Kelly.
See, this is the problem I have with
Troy
this.
fucking Aikman.
Oh, dog. Drew Brees couldn't hold Troy Aikman's fucking left nutsack from behind his asshole.
Dude. Drew Brees runs circles around Troy Aikman.
Huh?
Drew Brees runs circles around Troy Aikman, bro.
Oh, my
bro,
God. Let me break this down.
Danny White could have won those Super Bowls with those.
This is how I break. And people in the chat, Jim Kelly over Aikman. Really? Aikman beat Jim Kelly twice for Super Bowls, you dumb fuck.
No. Troy Aikman's team beat Jim Kelly. You put Jim Kelly on the Cowboys, they win 6
team
titles.
beat fucking 7 teams.
Troy Aikman is maybe the most overrated quarterback ever.
See, I almost think that I can say that about Tom Brady.
Oh my fucking God. Oh my God.
Oh,
How can you say Tom Brady's overrated?
Tom Brady played in the worst conference for 20 years of all time in the NFL history.
Look, that's true. He played in the worst division ever. I know. I played in it. But he's not overrated.
Let me break this down, though. If you compare Troy Aikman and Tom Brady, and we go out here on the park and go fucking throw the football around the park, it ain't even fucking close.
Well, no one's saying that Troy Aikman couldn't throw the ball. He was extremely accurate, and he did a great job running the system that he was asked to run.
What did he do bad?
Nothing. He didn't do anything bad. He did everything right. They won Super Bowls. He was very competitive. He's a first
At the time he was in the NFL, he probably had top 2 or 3 NFL arm strength. I mean, he could throw the ball 80 yards.
No one's debating all of this, but he is not a top 10 quarterback of all time
to this day. I don't care about stats and all this Drew Brees bullshit. He didn't throw the football as much. He fucking had a Harper and Irvin and Novacek. They ran 21 personnel play pass.
I get it. I'm just saying he's not a top 10 quarterback, in my opinion.
Well,
I think if you take any of the guys on your list or my list, and put them up behind the Great Wall of Dallas with the NFL's leading rusher of all time, with the fucking playmaker and Jay Novacek and Alvin Harper and all these other motherfuckers, plus Charles Haley and Jeff Coat and Norton and Deion Sanders and all these other motherfuckers. I mean, goddamn, I think that any of these quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Any of them.
Holds water to me. Yes, sir. We're back in the building. That clip right there was from Matt and I when we started a morning show, which eluded or preluded this show. And that's what made me change the time to 6 a.m. on the West Coast. Matt and I started a morning show, and we got decent numbers years ago. And we started a morning show where it was just me and him breaking down football. It was actually a fun show. And then it turned into this, which we said, I said, you know what? I'm gonna make my show at 6. Fuck it, because the numbers are that's the time. So we captured the East Coast audience, and that was the show right there that Matt and I did. This Sunday, though, or this year, Sundays, Sean Salisbury, myself, Sean King sprinkled in, and Jeff Nadu handling all the bets. We will have the realest pregame NFL show on Planet ERF coming in this Sunday. This season. So this season we will have that show. So subscribe and get on that. Matt will be back, man. Calm the fuck down. Let's dive into the next thing, Smitty.
Next thing, Bailey, pop it up on the screen, man. Pop it up on the screen. Young Bailey, because we got to give him, man. So we saw this stat online. Tom Brady has 30 touchdowns off screen passes in his entire career. Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes already has 40 screen passes for touchdowns. Really kind of validating what JB has been saying on this show for a long time and his opinion about Patrick Mahomes and the check downs that he often throws. But the conversation and question that I guess I want to have based upon this is just using this stat. Does this like take away from Patrick Mahomes in terms of just the overall greatness that he has and the GOAT conversation? What does this stat mean to you when you see this, JB?
It means that maybe some of you fucks should just start listening to what the fuck I say about quarterbacks. And you can hate me for all you hate me for, but when it comes to this fucking quarterback thing, I got it. It's my wheelhouse. Trust me, I'm a professional at it. You fucks out here, see that? I don't think people could separate the differences between why they don't like you, Smitty, and what you actually know. And that goes for everybody in the world. You, me, whoever. I don't like T.O. He was doing sit-ups in the front yard, and he's a shitbird. Has nothing to do with him on the fucking football field. Has zero to do with him. Whatever you don't like me talking about, because I blasted Sketch out, or whatever the fuck his name is, has nothing to do with the fact that I've been calling this shit out for 4 years. And I've been saying this is a victim of product of environment of Andy Reid's system mixed in with an ad-lib quarterback in a era where you cannot hit the quarterback. It has created a recency bias of Patrick Mahomes being elevated over certain quarterbacks this fast. No, nobody listens because I've been saying this for years and years and years, Smitty. And there's not really a main quarterback that I've missed on. You can say,
real quick. So are you saying that Patrick Mahomes' success is due to Andy Reid's offense and the kind of the team, the Chiefs team overall of the talent he's had around him?
No, don't peg me into that hole. And I don't mean you are. I'm saying I want to be clear because that's what we do. We ask that question and then that's the clip and then it goes out there and JB says that this is the reason why. No, the reason is he's benefited from a league that cannot hit the QB anymore. A league that you cannot reroute or hit the receiver anymore over the middle. B, that's huge, by the way, because if I throw a dig route without a guy hitting me, it's a completely different dig route throw than I knowing a guy not going to hit me, okay? The ball's thrown out here, Smitty, versus right here on a dig versus pressure, and meaning safety bearing down on me. So, first of all, number one. Number two, a lot of folks won't even understand what I just said. Number three, I mean, we're playing in an era that is basically created from the coach being the head coach and the OC to the quarterback who is protected, and then I put some great weapons around him for the time being. Now, I've given credit to Patrick Mahomes last year, especially with a mediocre wideout crew and him wanting to play through a little bit of adversity, a little bumps and nicks and knacks, wanting to play and not be pulled out of the game. Plus his father's issues off the field, his brother's issues, his wife in Sports Illustrated, all this shit. It's a lot of pressure on a man. I don't give a fuck what position you play in sports. I give him a shitload of credit for going through all that shit and still being the high character kid he is.
Right.
Even though you can question all the other shit around him. Then you throw on the Travis Kelce and Swifties and all that other shit on top of it, where we're not even going to bring that up. That's not Mahomes' issue, but he's a quarterback. All that shit on him and him to win it, I give him all the credit in the world. No question, not taking nothing away from him. That would be a hater.
Right.
I'm a truth teller, and I'm telling you, this guy is not close to the GOAT, number one. He's not close to a guy that, like this isn't even close, Smitty, and this is when Brady used to be – this is when the QB got hit in the chin. This is when the QB got hit in the face.
Keep these numbers up here real quick, though. Why? I wonder why they started specifically at 2007. Because if I'm not mistaken, that's not when Tom Brady got drafted, right?
No.
Why'd they stop? Okay, Bailey just told me. Thank you. He said prime years for ball. When did Mahomes get drafted? I'm just curious. Off the top of the head, I can't remember. Was it 20? Was it 16, 17?
No, he's only been in the league 7, so 16 or 17.
16 or 17. Got you.
The reason
so a year before that. So like, and that's why I don't like comparing people because like it's so I understand why they're doing it, but Mahomes, I mean, is honestly way ahead of Brady in terms of if you take like exactly Brady's first 6 years in the league compared to Mahomes' first 6 years in the league, it ain't even close. We're taking Brady's prime years right there compared to what we're considering Mahomes' prime years, but I don't even know if those are his prime years. Mahomes still young, y'all. Like I know we feel like, all right, like we've seen the best of him because they've already won 3 Super Bowls. They've been to 4. He's been to 5 or 6 AFC Championship games. But to you guys' point, I think he got drafted in 2017, and we're calling his prime his second year in the league when he became a full-time starter, and he's already in his prime as soon as he started. Guys don't reach their prime when they first start playing. I get that's probably his best year so far, but he ain't reached his mental prime. So my point in that is we're comparing these cats, but we just got to see more. To your point, right now today, Mahomes not in the GOAT conversation to me because it's just.
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you said
today,
that.
right now today. If he retired today,
but that's the problem. That's the whole reason of this conversation, though. That's the reason why.
But he's on track though. Like again, on track. He's definitely well ahead of where Brady was at. If you go directly,
I don't believe so at all.
I'm just saying, like literal facts. Like first 6 years. You look at accomplishments. You look at numbers. You look at stats. You look at everything. Like Mahomes is ahead of Brady. Super Bowl wins.
Why?
Like,
Why?
He's ahead of Brady.
No, he's not. Like, what do you keep saying facts? No, he's not.
Okay, if we got time today, which we probably don't, but if we don't do it today for tomorrow, let's pull up Brady's first 6 years. Let's get his passing yards, his passing touchdowns, Super Bowl wins. Let's get the main stats. Let's do the same thing for Mahomes, and let's line them up. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not.
But here's the thing, though. The reason this is because, remember, Tom Brady got drafted as a 6th-round guy that backed up Drew Bledsoe. He didn't start year 1.5 or year or a half. Let me say year half, because when Alex Smith went down, Patrick Mahomes was already playing a little bit, and then he started the very next season.
Okay, Brady so neither one of them started their first year. Okay, so
Brady did not.
When they started, and then the first whatever from there.
But see, that's the thing that happens. That's why I wanted to be clear as far as I tried to be as clear as I could when I started this conversation. I've been saying this for 4 or 5 years. You dismiss everything I started this debate with. Yeah, you did. Like, Tom Brady used to get hit in the face, homie. He had chin scars. He got hit and knocked out of games. That's why Drew Bledsoe went back in the game. I don't know if you remember that. This guy right here fucking tippy toes 2 extra steps because he knows he won't get hit.
I understand that.
There's a fucking difference, homie.
But that's not, and I hear you, but it just, I don't mind you bringing it up because, again, I always say context matters. So it's important to bring up the factors. So let me start there. But at the same time, the only issue I have with the whole era and the rule difference, all that stuff, is that we will never, ever be able to elevate any players moving forward because you will always go back to the fact that the rules are different now. So it's very, very unfair to Mahomes, who's doing everything in his power to be an all-time great. He's winning at a high level. He's playing through injuries, even when he does get hit. And again, we call the game soft today. Everything's relative. It's soft compared to where it used to be. It's still football, ladies and gentlemen. Mahomes still getting hit. I didn't see him get sacked and body all twisted. That's how he hurt his ankle in the first place. Body got all twisted up, all type. So guys are still getting hit. But in comparison to where it used to be, is why we call it soft. Just let's make things clear. But my point is that it's unfair to a guy like Mahomes or any other future great because all we're going to do, all the old heads going to do is, well, back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s, it was different. You're right. It was different. But what can I do about that today? Only thing I can do is be as great as I possibly can. And we shouldn't discredit Mahomes from what he's doing with his arm at the end of the day. At the end of the day, quarterback, hey, get that ball out. Throw that ball. Like, it ain't like Brady was a guy who was running around a lot and all. Like, he was getting that ball out. He was getting that ball out at a high level, a high clip. So I don't know how much him even getting hit was truly a factor with him specifically, because just like Peyton Manning, these guys are zipping that ball height, getting it out, reading and reacting quick. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if Mahomes retires today, it's not even a conversation for me. Brady is clear cut ahead of him. He did too much. I lived through it. We've all lived through it. Me as a Colts fan, trust me, he gave me so many just upset nights. But Mahomes is on track from an accomplishment and statistical standpoint to be at that same level. On track. Doesn't mean he's going to continue to do it, but he's on pace.
He's on track to all you youngsters that never watched real football thinking that he's the GOAT. That's what he's on track to do. Because people don't forget, when they changed the rules when Brady was playing, Brady was actually bitching the other way. Brady was actually bitching that why? Why can't we get hit low? Why can't we get hit? Brady continues to stand on that fence today, talking about defense should be able to hit the offense. Brady's the only one coming out on every podcast he does, and he's the one that has these sound bites, isn't he, or not? Am I tripping? I believe that's all he is. He is
but
right.
Two things can be true. They changed the rules for him, though. So whether he want them to or not, when he went down and got his leg hit and missed the whole season, the rules changed. Do not hit. That's the Tom Brady rule. Don't hit quarterbacks low.
It's not a Tom Brady rule. It's a paid quarterback rule.
Yeah, but come on. We know what led to it. Like,
let's just be real. But what I'm saying is, though, he at least came out and said, I don't like the rule. I never liked the rule. I want to see these cats be hit. And I'm just trying to figure out why you guys don't understand there's a difference, dog. When I can tippy-toe down the sideline knowing I can't get hit to steal 3 extra yards to me is like soft as fuck. Like, you're a quarterback, dog. Like, I listen, it is what it is. We have the story still being written. That's why I stand on this. I always say, stop doing the recency bias thing. Stop anointing. Let's see his career finish out. Because I don't know. People always talk about Troy Aikman when I did that take with Matt on the commercial. The last time I checked, Aikman won the same amount of Super Bowls in the same amount of years as Mahomes.
Hey, respectfully, y'all, and I know I don't.
We sure don't get
Troy Aikman not in the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes.
Don't say respectfully, because you never even saw the motherfucker. So
Troy Aikman not in the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes.
Don't act like you saw him, homie. Don't say respectfully.
Troy Aikman not in the same conversation as Patrick Mahomes.
Because you have no clue what he's about. You have no
idea.
Troy
Aikman's not in the same conversation with Patrick Mahomes.
But you can't tell me why.
And I ain't the only one. And I ain't the only one saying it. Cool, you're right. I didn't grow up in the area. Cool.
I would expose you.
Go ask guys who actually did grow up in the area and see what they say. Go ask actual NFL players who are your age, 40, late 30s, who actually watch them play. And let's see what they think of him. All-time great, Hall of Famer. He's not in the conversation for GOAT. That's not even stopping. That Cowboys team was loaded with Hall of Famers. And look at his numbers. Look at his numbers, bro. I'm just saying, like, at some point, like, that has to matter. You always go to Mahomes and say, Mahomes don't do shit in the Super Bowl. He ain't never throw for 300 passing yards until they went to overtime last year. Look at this. Look at Troy Aikman's numbers too. Then keep the same energy.
I'll expose you.
All-time great. I'm not saying that, but don't put him in the same conversation as Mahomes. Those Cowboys teams are some of the greatest of all time. Bailey's in the chat comparing to the Chiefs. The Chiefs team that can't even touch that Cowboys team.
Go back. Go back, though. Go back to what you said, because I'm going to expose you when you say respectfully. And no, it's not respectfully, because you didn't even watch the motherfucker. So don't go there, because I will expose you, because I know you can't break down the two. I know for a fact you can't break down the two differences in these two when I can all day, every day. So don't say respectfully they're not in the same category. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about, homie. And I'm just telling you, respectfully.
You're a Troy Aikman stan, so like you're biased. Like you have the Troy Aikman goggles. You think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. So like
like AR5, right? Like fucking AR5.
I never said he was the greatest though. I said he has the skill set to win the MVP this year. That's what I said, which I'm going to stand on.
Listen, listen. I don't care about if it's Troy Aikman or if it's Joe Montana or if it's Steve Young or if it's fucking Warren Moon or if it's fucking Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers. I can break down all of them and then I can compare them versus John Elway, Dan Marino, all these different guys. I can break and do a compare and contrast against all of them. Patrick Mahomes is an ad-lib off-platform thrower who creates plays with his feet.
And he's great at it.
Who can't hold any of those guys I just mentioned's nutsack for actually playing the position for what it was. Now, you want to throw all these other things in there. If I was in the NFL back in the day and I threw smoke screen, bubble screen, got the football out of my hands like this, I would be sitting here thinking, damn, Troy Aikman was 85% completion percentage. He got the ball out to fucking his slot receiver every time because that's what the offense was. He shovel passed everything in the red zone, and then he fucking did some gimmicky-ass play in the red zone to get Travis Kelce the ball. If that was what it was, we'd be crucifying Troy Aikman, homie. We'd be crucifying the QBs that played in the day back in the pocket.
It sound like they should have did that. It sound like they should have been doing that. So it sound like every little excuse we make it for why Mahomes is good and great and all that stuff. It sounds like they should have had a better offensive coordinator. They should have been doing. Look, oh my God, I'm not even going. Fans look, JB look, I'm not gonna say anything. Keep this up for a minute. I'm not saying anything. Just go ahead, JB. Yeah. Break it down. I didn't watch it, so I can't comment. You're right. I'm not gonna say shit.
I'm not gonna comment either. I'm not gonna comment either.
I'm not gonna comment either. I'm just looking. I know numbers don't tell the full picture, but damn, they tell some things. Numbers tell some things. Golly, this guy was a fucking amazing. He's so much better than Mahomes.
I thought you were gonna comment, homie.
I'm praising him. He's
amazing. How am I gonna talk? How am I gonna
amazing.
How am I gonna talk if you're talking?
I'm a mute. Hold on, I'm a mute.
You said no, homie. You said leave the graphic up, and you weren't gonna say nothing. All you fucking have done is talk about a quarterback position you have no fucking clue about. Like, this is the crazy part. There's no reason to comment on this no more. I don't need to talk about it because your stat boys out here who fucking are on TikTok will think that this is the telltale story. But you'll see Patrick Mahomes never throw for 300 yards in a Super Bowl and then fucking glaze his nutsack. Make it make sense. Like, it's fucking unbelievable. I'm not going to talk QBs on this show with people in the chat who don't understand anything that preclude YouTube videos.
All I'm going to say is listen, you know quarterback. I respect the hell out of you. That's why I'm on the show. If I didn't respect you, JB, trust me, when you reached out to me, I would not be on the show. So I respect you. You know more about quarterback than me. I'm admitting that on the show. But it don't take a genius to look at what I just saw. And for you to tell me that this guy is better than Patrick Mahomes, that just shows me that you're biased because that's who you grew up with, which is okay. I'm all right with that. But just say that. His best year was 23 touchdowns and 14 picks, was his best year. And he averaged 215 passing. Hold on, 215 passing yards a game. You come in my home for not throwing for 300 yards in the fucking Super Bowl. This motherfucker best year, 23 touchdowns, 14 picks, 215 passing yards. Come on, JB. I don't give a fuck about era because there's other quarterbacks who play in that same era like Dan Marino, who I bet you pull his numbers up. It look way different. So come on, bro. Troy Aikman, Hall of Famer. I hate doing it because he is an all-time great. He was on part of one of the greatest Cowboys teams of all time, one of the greatest NFL teams of all time. But to put him in a GOAT conversation, it don't make sense. It don't make sense, and that's okay. He's not the GOAT. He's not in that conversation.
Listen, dog, I'm not gonna even debate it with you because you have no clue what you're talking about. No offense.
I'm cool with that, but even the guys who do know what they're talking about, they don't bring them up.
They don't know what they're talking about.
So, all right, so JB's the only person who knows what he's talking about. Cool. I'm cool with that.
No. Sean Salisbury, who played in the NFL, who's undefeated versus John Elway, he knows what he's talking about. Sean King, he knows what he's talking about. Clint Stoerner, he knows what he's talking about. Noel Mazzoni, he knows what he's talking about. These are guys I've had on the show talk about it and break it down.
So guys who agree with you know what they're talking about.
Why are they all on my side?
Quick question. So guys who agree with you know what they're talking about, correct?
No.
Because I can bring on a list of NFL guys who I've spoken with too, who come on this show and they would agree with me.
No.
What are we saying?
You know who you guys listen to? Mina fucking Kimes.
No, I can bring NFL players because again, that's what you do. That's what you do when you don't have ammo for what I said. You bring up something that has nothing to do with it.
The ammo
has zero to do with what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, Shout out to Mina Kimes for finding a path for herself, becoming a millionaire, which she do, because she's bigger than both of us right now. I'm not gonna hate on somebody else that's bigger than both of us right now.
You can't even talk around this motherfucker. Fuck it. Go to the next topic. Can't even talk about it to a motherfucker that don't know shit about quarterbacks. I can't even talk. So fuck it.
I was talking. If I'm already talking, let me finish. Then you talk.
You talk the whole time, homie. It's been your segment. It's been your segment. Quarterbacks. You're the quarterback whisperer now, homie. Go ahead. You start talking about. Smitty will talk about quarterbacks every day on this show now, and we'll listen to all the fat
JB's emotional right now. JB mad right now. JB emotional right now.
You're just talking about quarterbacks, homie. A D lineman talking about quarterbacks with Mina Kimes. Like, you're glazing Mina Kimes about quarterbacks over Sean Salisbury.
I'm under his skin.
That shit is crazy to me. God damn. I'm under his skin. I mean, luckily I'm a nice guy. I just let you talk. Like, that's why I let you talk. Like, I'm letting you talk, but your points mean nothing. Like, your stats mean nothing. It's not worth my time to speak to guys in the chat that have no clue about quarterback play and have no clue about what teams they played on and what offense they ran versus an era that allowed you to get hit versus an era that you can't get hit in versus an era where we're spread out throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game versus an era where we were in two-back tight end sets, 21 personnel, and running play-action pass in Troy Aikman's instance. There's no reason to even compare that to you. You guys don't understand it. You guys have no clue about real football. All you do is look at fucking stats that they give you on a prompter because you're all fucking social media coaches. Stop. I'm not even going to argue it, homie. Next. You guys get it. You can have it.
Buddy, what's next? Let's throw it on the screen. I don't even know what's next. In other news, Stephon Diggs. Okay, man. So they're talking about the Stephon Diggs trade, and word on the street is that the trade was reportedly viewed as an addition by subtraction.
Let me stop you, though. Why are we bringing up shit that everyone's bringing up that I've said on this show?
It's crazy.
Over and over and over. Oh, no, but I don't know quarterbacks, though.
I don't know who said that. I have no idea who said that. I have no idea who said you didn't know quarterbacks. I have no idea who said that.
I don't know anything. Because I didn't say this either. Go ahead.
The Stephon Diggs trade was reportedly viewed as addition by subtraction for the Bills by several NFL scouts. The quote was, "The guy is and always will be a diva. He's selfish. He's lost a half step. And Josh Allen froze him out in the second half of the season." Some NFL scouts reportedly believe Keon Coleman, who's the kid who got drafted from Florida State, I believe, Diggs' replacement, could have a DK Metcalf type of impact in his rookie season. They say Stephon Diggs has been a problem everywhere he's been. JB, I mean, you kind of already jumped into it, but this quote is literally addition by subtraction. You said that. I can't even tell you how many times on this show, and specifically about this person, this player, this topic. So I know obviously you agree with it. I guess for me, I don't know. I guess film don't lie, so we'll see how things play out. I know I said Josh Allen could have potentially be the favorite for MVP because he doesn't have this cat and then because it'll be more on his shoulders. But I'm just looking back at my experiences as a player, and all my teams, we had like knuckleheads. And a lot of times the knuckleheads were guys who ended up being like the stars on the team or one of the stars, one of the key players on the team. And when I say knucklehead, doesn't mean they're bad guys. I mean, it just, they're not the easiest teammate, the easiest person to coach, the easiest person to just do what the coach says, right? But at the end of the day, when the game starts and those lights come on, man, I wanted them on that field with me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the whole week, maybe it was stressed out. Maybe we were doing extra stuff because of them. But when that Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, or in the MAC, that Tuesday night hit, I wanted that cat or those cats on the field with me because they're going to produce. So the addition by subtraction, we'll see. We don't know. We're just guessing, obviously, as of right now. But Stephon Diggs has been one of the best wide receivers in the league for the last, 4 or 5 years at least. Top 10 guy last 4 or 5 years. A guy who Josh Allen had his best years of his career with, and to the flip side, Stephon Diggs had his best years with Josh Allen. They both got better together. No matter whatever you want to say about Stephon Diggs, cool, like it's fair. But Josh Allen got better with Stephon and vice versa. And the numbers don't lie. The production don't lie. The Bills were a favorite year in and year out with this duo of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, made to an AFC Championship with Stephon Diggs. So I know they didn't win the Super Bowl, and that's kind of how we, judge everything. But let's not act like let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like Stephon Diggs hasn't been a huge and a key contributor for years, even though we know it ended the way it ended.
First of all, whoever this nobody is, he's a fucking nobody. Oh, fake Pharrell-looking motherfucker said that JB quarterback grading is trash. Well, let's talk about it. Come on the show. I'll break down quarterbacks, and then I'm gonna get you on the board, and I want you to break down everything that I'm trash at. See, that's the difference. You motherfuckers just be talking. You never. I just looked at you, Puerto Rican Poppy. You never played, motherfucker. You roll fucking blunts. Shut the fuck up. Now, here's the thing. Stephon Diggs, the word addition by subtraction, the term that I use, I've never heard before on mainstream media. And I'm not saying it's me, it's my word, my term. I'm just telling you, have you ever heard that term being used on ESPN, on any Fox, on anything? Have you ever heard it? Unless you've seen it on this show several times, because I use it more than anybody. Yeah. I've been using it.
I might have heard it like once or twice, but
I've been using it like 20 years. 20 years I've been using it because I've been using it as a coach forever. I know they're watching the show, but anyway, it is what it is. They need to start quoting us. They need to start sourcing us. We know this is the fact. We know this is what it is. This is exactly what the fuck it is. It's addition by subtraction. This is why I do agree with your Josh Allen take on MVP possibly, because I think he's going to have to shit or get off the pot and do what Mahomes just did without a very talented wideout room. Allen needs to do it, or he's going to have the naysayers out there like, all right, Josh, you can't get over the hump. You can't beat that guy. You can't do what he did. I think Josh Allen, if you think he's as great as you say, he needs to do that this year. And this is addition by subtraction. I said it months ago. Josh Allen will play much less stress, much less drama, no pressure to get this guy the football when I know he's not even in the progression of the read. But he's coming chirping on the sideline, bitching and moaning, sucking his teeth. Josh Allen don't have to deal with that no more. He can go through the progression and go to 1 to 2 to 3 to run. He don't have to go from one backside to force the football into a Diggs crybaby ass. So that's just what I've been saying. I stick to it, and that's where I'm at. We got to get it.
Quick question. What would addition look like this year, though?
Smitty frozen. I can't even hear him. Baby, we got Steve. Smitty frozen to me. There you go. You're moving. All right.
Can you hear me?
Now, yeah.
What would addition look like for the Bills and Josh Allen this year? Because, I mean, again, let me remind you guys, they went to an AFC Championship game with Stephon Diggs. They were 13-3, I want to say, like in 2022, 2023. I think that was like probably their best overall season. So for me, addition for the Bills and Josh Allen would be Super Bowl, in my opinion. And like you can't go out here and be 10. You can't go out here and be 10-7, and like that's not getting better, in my opinion.
I don't look at it like that because again, this is why you guys believe in stats over performance and skill set, and I don't. This is why you guys will look at the stats and say, "Oh, addition by subtraction really didn't happen." I look at it as a playing with less stress. I believe it helps Josh Allen extend his career. I believe it makes that organization a long-term successful one with Josh Allen at the helm. It doesn't mean you have to win a Super Bowl this year because their roster is not that good, Smitty. Their roster is not good enough to win a Super Bowl. Let's just be honest. Like, we're sitting here comparing rosters amongst the NFL, and we always talk about this, and this, but we give all these other QBs a pass, but Josh Allen has to win it this year without the talent? It doesn't make sense. I don't believe it.
Two things, though. We're saying the roster's not good enough to win, but then we're also saying it's addition by subtraction by losing that said talent. You know, so
yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. Addition by subtraction, meaning in that particular room on that side of the ball with Josh Allen, the receiving core, and his frame of mind, I believe is addition by subtraction. I think Josh Allen will play more loose and have more fun without this guy, and that's the addition by subtraction. I don't believe Buffalo's even close to a Super Bowl team. Steve Kim, welcome in. How you doing?
Good morning. What's up?
What's up, brother? We're just talking about Josh Allen and this addition by subtraction comment that I made for a long time now. Diggs, I think you're on the same thing. I think Diggs going to Houston is addition by subtraction to Buffalo. And then I also said I believe he might be subtraction by addition in Houston. That's how where I think this guy is. That's what I think he is. So where you at with this take?
Not really sure. I mean, Buffalo, I mean, is Keon Coleman ready to be a number one? I'm not really so sure who Josh is going to be throwing to. He's got a pair of good tight ends. You know, they have to be much better in the red zone. They move the ball well all the way up until they got closer to the goal line. And quite frankly, their efficiency level in terms of pushing that ball past the goal line was not good enough. And when you start getting into these one-possession games in the playoffs, settling for a field goal here or there, that's the difference between going to a Super Bowl and getting your heart broken in the playoffs. We're going to see. Josh Allen has put up big numbers the last 4 or 5 years. Games gotten physically. It's still pretty reckless at times as he runs around like a tight end. But again, who is he throwing to outside? I know Stephon Diggs comes with issues. He also comes with a lot of production.
You know what's funny? Josh Allen is sitting at plus 850 right now as we start July 10th, 2024 to win the MVP. They got Mahomes as the favorite at plus 450. CJ Stroud, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow are all at 850, plus 850. I find that interesting because the money is, to me, is on Aaron Rodgers at plus 1,600. And the reason I'm saying this, Steve, is Smitty and I brought it up as a poll question. If you were to bet money today, as I know you and I both hate doing this preemptive way 3 months early stuff, but if you had to take some money that I gave you and bet on an MVP right now to win that big money, Smitty put Josh Allen on there. I thought it was a good take. Josh Allen seems like he's right in there. CJ Stroud I would be skeptical of just because it's the sophomore year. And I don't know what happens with sophomores. It scares me. I wouldn't bet him on as far as an MVP. But 1,600 for Aaron Rodgers looks good. He may be hurt and all that, but it sure looks good at 1,600 to have this guy.
If you're going for value, yes. I got a name, and I'm very high on him. Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, yeah.
Jordan Love. I like that roster. They're young and they're talented. And if they can get their hamstring issues on the outside with Watson figured out, you got Dobbs, you got Watson. I think they added a Josh Jacobs. Him and LaFleur are on the same page. I thought Jordan Love the last 2 months of that season, the playoff game, he was excellent. Against the Niners, he was the best quarterback on the field for 3.5 quarters. I'd buy stock in the Packers and Jordan Love. I kind of like what they're doing over there.
Hey, Smitty, we're going to get back to it after Steve leaves, but I didn't even give you mine. I didn't.
Never did.
Yeah, because you talked all day. All right, Steve.
No, you got pissed off because of my dark horse answer.
Oh yeah, AR5, Steve. I don't even want to talk about it. Steve, let's dive into it, Smitty. We got some questions for Steve.
We gotta go back to boxing because I know there was a question I forgot to ask you about the previous weekend. Obviously we were talking about Shakur Stevenson the whole time, but there was a fight before that was real controversial. And correct me if I'm wrong. Is it O'Shaquie Foster? Am I saying it right?
O'Shaquie Foster. Yeah, he had a tough kind of a bad
What
decision.
happened with that? Because I watched the fight and he got interviewed afterwards, and most people had to fight like 10-2, 11-1. Like, it looked like a clear victory. Like, what's going on with these judges? Like, what's the process of them getting selected? I'm just curious because this happens too often, I think, in the sport, and it really devalues, in my opinion, the hard work. Like, look at his face right here, man. Like, he was emotional, crying after the fight, as he should be. He busted his ass to make it to this point. He had a clear victory, and they take it away from him. Like, I don't know. What's your take on that?
Well,
hey, Steve, just to be clear, this guy dominated the fight, right? That's from what I heard?
Yeah, he controlled it. I didn't think it was 10-2, 11-1, but I thought he clearly won the fight. In terms of the judges, I have an old phrase. I was taught this long ago. Fighters fight for today, judges judge for tomorrow. In other words, they a lot of times have an agenda to make sure they get hired again by certain powers that be. The thing is, the decision for Robson Fonseca, it's not like he's this huge money-making draw for Top Rank.
Right.
There would be no real obvious agenda to make sure that he had the title above O'Shaquie Foster, who also earlier this year signed a multi-fight deal with Top Rank. So that one I really didn't understand if there's going to be some sort of nefarious plot to get that belt for him. But in terms of the judges, generally the judges start off, they do amateur matches, then they're moved up. They do professional. fights. They're on smaller cards and they move up the ladder. And then you become affiliated with the sanctioning body and you do a lot of their title fights. But I look, the problem with judges is that they're about as entrenched in boxing as the Supreme Court justices. I mean, you just never really hear them getting demoted or fired. I still remember for years hearing the names of Dalby Shirley, Dave Moretti, Jerry Roth, the same suspects over and over again for these big Las Vegas fights. And no matter how bad or dubious some of their scorecards were, they never were really demoted or held back. So it is frustrating. I do feel bad for Shock. He's a good guy. And hopefully he can get the rematch. I'm going to be at the Top Rank show this weekend. I'm going to try to get some answers in terms of how they try to rectify this. I don't believe there was a rematch clause for Foster. But, you know, unfortunately, these judges, I often wonder, is it incompetence or is it corruption? But which is worse? You know?
Ooh, that's a bar. I almost feel like incompetence is almost worse, honestly, when I really think about it.
Because you can eradicate corruption by saying you're out of here. If you're just bad, you're just like, geez, you know. So you always advocate for a new generation of judges and referees to come into the game. The problem is now you lack experience.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of balance those two.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Moving into one of our, I guess, favorite people to discuss, not because we really want to, just because he's always in the news. Ryan Garcia, and I don't know if you saw the video. I guess he allegedly or Bryson broke into his ex-wife's house and says it was because she had cheated on him and he had caught her. Like, what's going on with this cat, man? It seems like every single day is something going on with Ryan Garcia.
Well, if he's upset over adultering, well, pot meet kettle. I mean, this is a guy that openly says, "I'm gonna everyone's wife." I mean, hey, Henry, you are a piece of and you raised one. This is a direct. I think this has a lot to do with the way he was brought up. I really do. They did not set a great foundation for this young man. The meltdown doesn't really surprise me. And look, I'm not going to be a phony and says, "Oh, we got to pray for him." I'm not going to pray for him. I don't really care either way. I will make comments on it. Or we got to. Oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel bad for the young lady, although you got to watch who you have kids with. Let that be a lesson there from the Uncle Kimster. And try to not have kids out of wedlock in general.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lesson for everybody. But, you know, then Ryan's still tweeting, though, about how God's going to save everybody. I mean, look, it's gotten to a point long ago where it's now self-parody and it's a mockery. But all those people that enabled him, that made excuses for him, that almost promoted this behavior. What do you think now? What do you think now?
Yeah,
it's like Dion in Colorado. They're in the news every day.
Yeah, but come on, hold on. Coach Prime in Colorado are not doing this.
Right.
I mean, what is Coach Prime's real crime here? His sons tape everything. Oh, okay.
Right.
I don't like with Coach Prime in Colorado. I actually differ from Whitlock, believe it or not. I actually agree with a lot of what he says, but I hope Coach Prime stays in coaching and lets this ride out at Colorado because we need characters. We need some sort of like things that are interesting about college football that make it different.
Hey, I got a hot take, Steve, that I want one of your good friends that was over here at the Palooza last on the 4th of July, who he came in with a heavy over-under take. Your boy JC.
Yeah.
And Smitty, JC said over under. He's taking over that this dude is not even going to be alive by the end of the year. Yeah.
He's not the only one. I mean, look at the path that Ryan is taking. And I don't want to hear anymore. Well, he was just trolling to promote a fight. Okay, guys, that fight took place April 20th.
Right.
I mean, we're basically now, 2 months plus from it. So look, it's not the most outlandish thing. And if you look at the way he behaves, when you're allowed to live in this pseudo reality, and then you think like, oh, that stuff he said about digging up George Floyd, and I hate the reason why he says it because he thinks he can get away with it. Because he thinks he's insulated because he's like a cult leader. He really is. He has all these minions on social media that worship him to a certain degree. I don't know if they're ever going to go to Guyana and he's going to end up serving great Kool-Aid to all his followers, but it is like a cult. And if you ever heard him on these spaces, someone commented to me that, like I say, it was almost like he's a godlike figure, not only to himself, but to all his followers and his listeners. So it is what it is. Anything that happens with Ryan Garcia does not surprise me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Just because of things he dabbles in, I think he barks up trees that are going to probably be the demise. Unfortunately, that's what sucks, but it is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Transitioning though to college football, and I'm glad JB brought up Deion, because I saw some news here the other day. Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire actually compliments Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, in an interview, question about Colorado being in the Big 12. I don't know. Did we have an actual video, Bailey?
On Sanders' name, what is it Coach Prime brings to this conference and CU's return to the Big 12?
Yeah, I'm a Texan and grew up the old Southwest Conference and then the old Big 12. So it's great to see Colorado back, in the right conference. And man, I love Deion. I always tell everybody, I coached Bucky, his oldest son, in high school, and he's honestly the best dad of a player that I've ever had. He was absolutely incredible. But what he brings, man, he's who he is. He doesn't make any excuses, and he doesn't take anything back. He's going to say what he believes in and say, what he thinks. He brings a lot of excitement. I think Colorado is going to be really good. They've added a lot of talent, and they do have one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. And whenever you've got a quarterback like his son, that can make plays with his arm and his feet, you've got a chance to win games. I think
a lot of praise right there, JB. How you feel about that?
Jack me off. Fuck. That's all that is. That's all bullshit. What is he supposed to say?
I love, like, JB, Steve, you notice, if someone says something that's in agreement with JB on the same side of his take, then it's real. It's like it's a real take. If they say something opposite or kind of leaning more towards the positive side, oh, it's fake. What is he supposed to do? I'm like,
no, here's the thing. If Joey McGuire, or let's say he really doesn't like Deion and he would have said something, he's a jagoff. Here's the problem. All the Colorado groupies would come at him. The white mainstream liberal media, like, oh my God, how could you say that? And who wants all that? No one wants all of that. And so I think, look, you want to be in a situation like that, and I think that's what, Big 12 Media Day, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to deal with all that. Look, I actually think Deion's good for college football, whether you hate him or love him, because he gives you an identity. I think it's fun. When Colorado's on that screen, you either want Deion and his kids to win or lose. So that game becomes kind of fun to watch. I mean, they've had no identity as a program for 20 years. So
and Steve, I've never questioned his fatherhood being good. Like, that's one thing I've never questioned. I've always said, at least he's in his fucking kid's life. He's a father figure to him, and he's going to defend them regardless. He's going to defend their sons, which the father should do. I don't care if wrong, right, or indifferent. Never, ever question that at all. Smitty, go ahead and find it. Show me when I've said he's a bad father.
No. You've never said that. It just you good. Go ahead. You never said that. It's just a couple things you've questioned in terms of how you would have handled it as a father versus how you handle it, which is fine.
As a coach, though, that's the difference.
Right.
So make sure, don't just be throwing out trigger words at the fucking social media people out here.
I'm not trying to make you go viral, JB. You're my guy.
Hey, Steve, real quick question I have for you. I started the show off with, and I wanted to get your take before Smitty's next question. Gundy, him and I have a history, and I kicked him out of my office, and I don't like him at all. He's a fucking shitbird. But Gundy at Oklahoma State, basically, I don't know if you've heard the news. It's kind of trending. He said it's cool to drink 3 or 4 beers every day and drive. Number one, I guess he said that. Number two, I'm 40, so address me. And number 3, well, now you're 60 damn near, and you're still doing dumb shit. But he's not worried about anybody but himself. He said, I'll give this guy 50 carries. That'll be his punishment. I just have an issue. Like, I used to have simple non-negotiables, Steve, and I believe every coach should have it. Don't disrespect women. No drinking alcohol. no fighting, certain non-negotiables. And if you do those things, this is the consequence, or you're out of here. Shame on the coach, though, Steve, in the portal now that will accept Ollie Gordon if he were to be suspended and kicked out of that school. Shame on those guys, because that is what's making this, I guess, putting coaches and holding them hostage by the players. Because the next coach will take you without any regard to what he did at the previous institution. Until we stop that, I don't believe the coaches will ever get the grasp back on helping these kids' lives off the field in the future, which is an ultimate job for a coach and a leader of men. Right now, we're just coaches like AAU coaches. We're paying to play. It's all about money. And it is. Take his keys, Steve. I'm taking this kid's keys, and you're not driving the whole season like they did Joe on the program. Take the keys so he remembers something, and it's a shock treatment to him. If you get caught driving this season, you're done. Like, your draft status is going down. Can't do that no more, Steve, because the next team will take him. So, like, where are you at with this whole Gundy and Ollie Gordon thing with the DUI that just happened?
Yeah, part of me gives Gundy credit. He's honest. He's running a football program, not a program. He's being a program.
It's NFL now, right? It's NFL now, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Ollie Gordon is central to that team. Last year, I think they got blown out by Northern Alabama or Southern Alabama at home. And it looked like that thing was going to sink. When Ollie Gordon started to get the rock, they became a different team. And he kind of crept into the Heisman race. He's a big, long-legged, long-striding guy who's a workhorse. And I think they had to pay some extra money to keep him. I'm sure teams tried to come out there and poach. Bottom line is this. He's too important not to play. And short of murdering somebody, he was going to play. I give Gundy credit for this. He's being honest. Ollie Gordon is important to my life, to my program. And can we be honest? There is no Oklahoma State fan that when Ollie Gordon runs out there for the first huddle of the year, they're not going to boo Ollie Gordon. In the back of their minds, they're thinking, oh, I'm glad Agent Zero is in that backfield. That's the reality.
I want to address something real quick because these guys throw me lobs like Smitty, and I catch it, and I do like 360s dunks with it. My old white ass, I still catch the lob. So this guy right here, I want to address. This absolute nobody in the chat with a Woodstock picture of him in Woodstock in his mom's fucking pajamas. So JB wouldn't take him at JUCO. So I want to be clear real quick. I would take him in a fucking New York minute. And his grade for me was a B. What does that mean? I graded him. Every shitbird I graded coming from the D1. A, smoking weed. Let's go. That's an A grade. I'm taking you all day. You smoke weed? All right, come on. B, DUI, credit card, fraud, something like that. C, did something in a classroom to a teacher or something like that you're contrite about. I'll bring you in. If you touch a woman or any of that, you're out. I didn't fuck with them. So yes, I take him at a JUCO. That's the key. I am here to get him right. Gifted, you fucking moron. I'm going to fix the kid, and if I can't, then he'll never be fixed. That is what JUCO's for. I said Division I. You don't listen because you're a fucking remedial. All right, so moving on, Steve. Real quick, I just wanted to be clear here on this Gundy thing.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, at the end of the day, a lot of JUCOs are the Betty Ford Clinic of football. You are the rehab. There's never been a rehab center that said, no, you drink too much alcohol. You can't be in our rehab. No, and by the way, going back to Ryan Garcia, he said he was going to rehab, and now he's in Hawaii. See? So exactly. Anyway, keep going, guys. Keep going.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Wait, I want to know. Who did I take from Florida State that hit a woman? Again, you're a fucking idiot. I'm not East Mississippi. That was that coach, you fucking idiot. How about you get your shit right? These guys are embarrassing. Anyway.
Staying in college football, though, real quick before we transition. Yeah. So the 10 schools leaving the Pac-12 will still play in the Pac-12 affiliated bowl games for the next 2 seasons, not the end bowl tie-ins with their new conferences. My question for you guys is, will this have an impact at all considering the players are, skipping out on a lot of bowl games in this transfer portal era, or is this a big deal to you guys at all?
Nah. Look, these bowl games outside the playoffs are now just television programming. It's all it is. And, you know, the same players that would have held out or taken themselves out of the competition, I don't think they ever cared about bowl tie-ins or conference affiliations. I think the bowl games needed they needed to get some clarity on just who exactly are we inviting or who's eligible to the game. And look, this whole blowing up of the Pac-12 just seemed to hit everyone suddenly a couple of years ago, and everyone had to scramble. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't. And to the players, they really don't care about bowl games anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a shame. I remember growing up, man, like really falling in love with college football. Like bowl games mattered so much, you know, like even some like the most, you know, middle tier bowl games, I would still really sit down and watch them because it was promoted in a way that it mattered. But like to your point now, if you're not in the playoffs, no one cares, and the players know that. So they're like, hey, I'm not going to risk hurting myself if I know that this game won't even matter to you guys.
Yeah, Smitty, I remember in '88, Barry Sanders had the greatest individual year I've ever seen from a college football player. I think in 11 games, he had 2,600 yards, right? Came out of nowhere to take that Heisman from Rodney Peete and Troy Aikman. And he played in the Holiday Bowl against Wyoming. I mean, the guy had 2,600 yards in 11 games, and it was never a question he was going to play in what was his final game for Oklahoma State. His dad, William Sanders, God rest his soul. I love that guy. He basically made it clear, oh, no, we're not coming back here next year. You think my son's going to play at an institution for free, and you think I'm going to go back on those roofs? Because he was like a roofer. He said, I ain't going back on that roof when my son's making all that money for a university. Not happening. We're going pro. But they played in the Holiday Bowl.
Man.
Hey, Steve, real quick before you move on, we got a lot of football for you before you leave. Yesterday, Shaun and I broke down SC UCLA, and he didn't understand it. He didn't want to comment on USC because he's not a California-bred kid and don't understand why SC's struggling so much. So I broke it down. I did a whole recruiting thing. I broke it down for him. And first of all, Clay Helton replaced Sark, who Sark hired, who he asked me about Clay Helton. I've known Clay a long time, and I said, yeah, he's a good dude, good coach, but he's not one of us, meaning you got to be a California blood life, have some sort of California attachment, in my opinion. If you're not the head coach from Cali, you better have your main go-getters from Cali. Lincoln Riley has none of that. He has nobody, and he has a very good friend of mine, really, really good friend of mine, Dennis Simmons, on that staff, who's the receiver coach, used to be at Oklahoma, comes to the house all the time, great friend of mine, good dude, great receiver coach. But he's not a California. He has no California guys. Do you see that as a struggle? Because he shut out high schools from coming into practice. And you know Pete Carroll and everybody used to invite everybody over to practice. This guy won't even allow the best high schools in America, Bosco and Mater Dei, unless you're invited in a special sort of format on the practice fields. Like, it's crazy to me. This isn't the NFL in that regard. You still need players that play from high school and junior college and college. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Go ahead.
He's getting dominated on the West Coast by Oregon, and Oregon's dominating everybody in recruiting. Dan Lanning is building a monster. They are becoming the program on the West Coast. Great
segue, because I don't know if you've heard Nike and Phil Knight.
Yeah, look, they want to win. They're going to pay. That's the business. But the thing about Lincoln Riley is that he inherited a great situation at Oklahoma. That was a playoff ready-made program that he took over. And now as you go on through the journey and you have to kind of build your own program and create that foundation. Another issue USC has is with the NIL, California taxes. A lot of these kids are figuring out, I'm going to give up some money here in Gavin Newsomville that I wouldn't where I could play somewhere else. That's why they've had some decommits is the word, from big name 4-5-star guys. And Lincoln Riley, I really wonder if USC's thinking to ourselves, what did we really get here? Did we really get a glorified offensive coordinator?
But let me ask you something. Who was the AD? You know better than me. Who was AD in transition from Sark? Because I know Pat Hayden fired Sark.
Was it Lynn Swan?
And then it went to Lynn Swan, right?
I'm assuming it was.
And then it went to this new guy from Cincinnati or whatever. Now, I want to ask you, at what point did the administration, the president, all the Marshall business law and all these big money people there say, you know what? We took this country bumpkin, great dude, Clay Helton. He just couldn't get it. He couldn't do it in L.A. Let's go get another country bumpkin from fucking Texas to replace him in Lincoln Riley. Like, how is that just – where's the leadership?
Well, here's the difference, though. Lincoln Riley went to the playoffs. Again, he took over a good situation from Stoops, but he went to the playoffs. He produced Heisman Trophy winners like as if they're on a factory line. So, look, Clay's a good, solid football coach, but did he have that pizzazz? And I will say this about Lincoln. If you're going to shut out the best high schools in California, you are shutting off your main talent base, because I think there's a lot of kids that'd be willing to play for less NIL money to stay local. You'll get the discount to make sure your parents, your family, your friends can come to the game, because that can be a weapon. But if you're going to not even allow them to practice, and you're going to alienate the #1 programs in this region, you have an issue. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to help you. Let's just put it that way.
I wanted to bring this up yesterday with Smitty and Shaun, and I forgot. I want to bring it up with you. People keep talking about how Ohio State and all these guys are coming in and taking SC's guys. And that's why I showed this recruiting format that I used to do yesterday. I would be flipping that. There's no way you can't tell me that Ohio State comes out to the LA in November and it's 85 fucking degrees. And I'm not stealing their best players to come to USC. Hey, dog, you see what November's like? You want to play football in LA in the summer? Or do you want to go play in the 20-degree, -30 fucking wind chill factor ass Ohio? I don't understand it. And I broke down recruiting yesterday, and I'm like, how is Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State taking SC's best players from Cali? But Cali and SC can't take their best guys when we have much more to offer other than tax bracket and crime. So, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Right. Well, again, but those schools care about football. USC has a president that does not seem to understand that football is a very integral part of USC's tradition. Okay? And nowadays, more than ever, if your school president does not care about football and understand, my university better not embarrass this football program, you have a problem. And SC has this woman, and I'm like, that's already an issue. So there you go. You got to care about football to be good at it nowadays.
Yeah, you're right. That's why the smaller schools, that's why I always say the smaller schools win.
And just the Midwest in general, the Midwest, we care about football. We take it more seriously. We're not soft. It's just different factors. So go ahead, JB.
From high school to JUCO to everything in the Midwest down south is just totally different. Steve, real quick, transitioning over to Westwood, Deshaun Foster, a good friend of mine who's hired Eric Bieniemy, another good friend, hired a great staff there, and a predominantly black staff, and has really had no recognition about what he's done there. I actually know a lot of those coaches, and I'm just telling you right now, I said it yesterday, they are football guys. They don't want to do any of that other bullshit. They are football dudes who care for these dudes that want to build men. And I believe that he's going to have an actual great year there. And I think it's going to go a little bit under notice because of what Dion and all the bigger names have going on. But we broke them down yesterday. They're going to struggle with that schedule, I do believe. But I do believe that the same kid Chip Kelly couldn't get to run through a wall, Deshaun will get to run through a wall. And I think it'll be a difference in a few wins. But regardless, this year, Steve, this year is not going to make or break him, because we're living a what have you done for me lately society. I get it. But I think he's catapulting this program for the next 2 to 3 years on a bigger scope of things. And I think UCLA is going to be a team to reckon with.
Yeah, look, the one thing about that staff, it is interesting for all those people that say, well, Coach Prime, it's about supporting a black coach. Right, well, what about Deshaun Foster then? Or Fran Brown at Syracuse?
Whole staff is almost black.
Or Maryland. And look, one thing about that staff, Chip Kelly, for the innovator that he was supposed to be, the word is he's lazy when it came to recruiting. He was downright bad at it. And he had a disdain for it, never wanted to do it. And I was told by someone that UCLA's NIL program, they're going to ramp it up. They're going to try to get serious about this thing and give Deshaun Foster a real shot to make this thing a go. UCLA has a lot of things going for it. It's a strong academic school. You're in a great area. They do have a tradition. It's a good place just to be a student. I don't understand why UCLA has not been better in football consistently the last 15 to 20 years. When I grew up, Terry Donahue was able to get some of the best players across the country.
So did
Kenny
Toledo.
Easley
So did
was
Toledo.
from Virginia. Willie Flipper Anderson was from New Jersey. Kevin Williams was the #1 running back in the 88-89 class out of Texas.
Eric Ball.
Eric Ball was from, I think, Michigan. I mean, if you ever look at the all-time UCLA team, a lot of their guys are from like the Midwest, East Coast. They used
Charles Arbuckle, my good friend.
Charles Arbuckle was from Texas. I have never understood why UCLA, and I think a lot of it had to do with being in the UC system and all that other stuff, but they should have never really dropped out of being a top 20 program. Never. But again, you've got to be willing to sink resources into your program, which means from the NIL program to the facilities to the support staff. Look, Miami had a great tradition for a long time. They fell behind the game, and look what happened. They became a mediocre program, and now Cristobal's trying to dig them out. UCLA is kind of in the same situation, and if I'm Deshaun Foster, you have to tell your administration, are we serious about being a football school or not? Because if not, forget it. This ain't going to work.
Hey, I remember this. This is a true story. I was with Kevin Sumlin the day he interviewed at UCLA. People may not even know he interviewed at UCLA, but a good friend of mine and Noel Mazzoni was there, and he's going to come on the show during the football season once a week. And they were on that. They went to interview, and Summy said, "What's going on with this practice field right here?" And they go, "Well, it's prime real estate." They made a fucking million excuses as to why they were shitty, and he was like, "Well, I want a 100-yard fucking practice field." He goes, "Well, all we got at Westwood is 80 yards. You know that, Smitty. They got an 80-yard football practice field because they don't have a fucking enough space and they won't do anything there." So Kevin Sumlin goes, "I'm going to be honest. Do you ask Kobe Bryant to fucking shoot on an 8-foot rim every day and then go out and play on a 10-foot basket?" That's exactly what he told UCLA's AD. And this was at that time. He was dead on. He goes, "I'm not going to take on this tax bracket, this amount of money that you're not willing to pay at UCLA, and then have to deal with an 80-yard football field." It told you all you needed to know about their investment in winning. And my point to that, Steve, is this. His thing was my thing, and I told him the same thing. I go, "Man, when are they going to build a stadium, either adjacent or off campus or something? When is SC and UCLA?"
But coach, that's the same situation as Miami, though. But when UCLA was winning, they were drawing 70,000.
Yeah.
When Miami was winning, the Orange Bowl was not on campus. They had a 58-game winning streak. And look, I went to that Miami Notre Dame game in 2017. And that was one of the most electric atmospheres. And when I'm watching that game, I'm thinking, oh, if Mark Richt can turn this around, this could be a real home field advantage. Your football advantage as a home team is only as good as your program. It is. I actually like Hard Rock for Miami because Miami's never going to get a home state on campus. UCLA isn't either, Coach. That's a pipe dream. With the real estate out, it's not going to happen.
Let me ask you, though, if I'm an outside-the-box thinker, being a JUCO guy, and I'm going to make shit happen the whatever way I can. If I take the UCLA program over, I'm pushing to the collectives, and I'm going straight to the NBA players that are top 5, I believe, in the NBA, UCLA alum right now. I still believe are a top 5 from the University of UCLA. The amount of players in the NBA come from UCLA still. And why is Russell Westbrook and a million Kevin Loves and all these guys saying, "Hey, man, we need to get you back in this NIL program and create something special here because we're going to use basketball to create a football winner." And I think Deshaun Watson is doing that from what I've heard, and I think he can do it. But let me ask you this, Steve. Don't you have to massage and adapt to the times, as you just said and eloquently put? Because, listen, don't go build a 100,000 stand stadium. Let's go build a StubHub stadium that holds 35 and be honest about ourselves. And let's create a smaller environment to give us a Madison, Wisconsin feel and pack the bitch out and then draw in and say, all right, now there's a reason to create something bigger here. But right now, the Rose Bowl, just to me, nobody wants to play in that decrepit-ass place. Nobody wants to play in the Coliseum. And let's create something. Maybe if it's only 15 minutes away, let's do it. But there's places all over that you can make a smaller
but Coach, if you are my rival and you play at a stadium that small,
I get it.
Thank you. I'm just going to say, hey, you want to play in that little bandbox? Go right ahead, brother. You want to play for the Toledo Mud Hens or Yankee Stadium? I kind of disagree with that.
I get it, Steve, but right now, look what's beating them right now. The Rose Bowl's beating them right now in recruiting.
Because they're terrible. But I remember when Cade McNown was there, they were playing in front of 80,000 people.
So what Steve is saying, you don't think it's the Rose Bowl itself that's killing them. It's the fact that they're not playing well.
No, Smitty, it's a trek. It is from Westwood to Pasadena. It is a trek. Yeah. And also it's a trek from the University of Miami, which is really in Coral Gables, to the stadium, Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a trek. But when you're good, it's not a trek. It's called a drive. When you're bad, it's called, hell no, I'm not going. By the way, UCLA, I just came to Jonathan Ogden, maybe their greatest player ever, pure player, Washington, D.C. Carlton Gray, one of their best cornerbacks ever, Cincinnati, Ohio. Matt Darby, I think, came from Virginia. UCLA should be a national program because that's what it wants. That's what I grew up as. I mean, there was a time, Smitty, they beat USC 8 or 9 straight times in a row.
Bob Toledo beat them 9 straight.
Well, it was Terry Donahue to Toledo, and then Pete Carroll said we're doing none of that. But, Coach, the stadium is the stadium.
I disagree with that, too, because there's plenty of stadiums out here that pack the house that are 35,000, 40,000, like Wazoo, Boise. Like, these aren't big, huge places, and they win, or at least they're competitive.
But they're in Pullman, Washington. They're not signature programs.
I just think, and listen, I agree with you. Like, it's beating a dead horse, but I also believe if you built an environment and put it right there, and you could have the actual student body there.
All right, so how about this then? So let's say Deshaun Foster has this thing rolling, and all of a sudden, so now you're stuck in a 40,000 seat stadium, and you have 50,000 other people that can't get into the game. I don't know.
No. That's why I said there's a means to an end, because that'll create. Let's go build this thing up. Now we're a program. Now we're legit. Now let's go build a stadium, or we'll go back to the Rose Bowl after you renovate.
And by the way, the Coliseum. Look, when I've seen this at USC, the last game Clay Helton ever coached at SC was a Stanford game in 2019 or 20. They were getting blown out. By the end of that game at the Coliseum, there was like 5,000 people. Okay, but all I know is this. Coliseum was not an issue when Pete Carroll and Reggie Bush were filling it up to 95,000. Guys, winning matters.
No, I agree.
Winning solves all.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying. I'm just saying I got to adapt.
You talk about like a decrepit stadium, the Orange Bowl, and I love the Orange Bowl. We should have renovated that thing but that thing had no amenities. I mean, you were pissing into a trough. There would be sewage everywhere. I mean, there was no. But we loved it. It was the greatest spot. Well, they never should have allowed that thing to be torn. But you know what? When Miami was Miami, it was the greatest place on earth.
I mean, Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana, when Ball State was Ball State, Schumann Stadium was a packed house. I mean, we get it. We get it.
I mean, the Rose Bowl, look, the Rose Bowl is a national landmark. UCLA, if they're good, they won't have to have all these curtains and tarps over 40,000 of the seats. Okay? Yeah. But you got to win. You got to win.
Win, baby. Just win.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Steve, let's transition to some current Big Ten. You got 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Washington, Oregon transitioning. We're still on this West Coast college football thing. Before I get your take on the latest Miami Hurricanes jerseys. So, where are you at with Washington and Oregon right now? With Oregon and Dan Lanning, I agree with you. I think they're light years ahead of Washington right now just because of the transition from DeBoer to Alabama. Lanning continuing to say, I'm staying here. I want to build something special. I wish Lanning was at SC. Where are you at with this? Phil Knight saying, here's all the money. What do you think with Washington? Do you think they fall off tremendously? And do you think Oregon is a team in the playoffs this year?
If Oregon is not one of the top 4 seeds in the playoffs, I'd be stunned. The playoffs is the floor. The question is how far. I love Oregon because they got 2 transfer quarterbacks, one for the present, one for the future. Dylan Gabriel's highly productive. Oregon at every position, and they also took Washington's best cornerback, which players transferring to their main rival will never sit right with me, but Muhammad is a good player. Oregon is a monster, and they're building something that's going to be a monster for the next several years. They are ready to go and win big into the Big Ten right now. They will be one of the top 4 seeds in college football this year. Washington, a lot of transition, and you lose a Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback. You lose your best receivers, and you're going through a coaching change. But they're not going to fall off a cliff. But if you're just saying out of those 2 schools, which school is going to have the big year? It's the Ducks. It's not even close. It's the Ducks.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Jed Fish is building something special. I've heard a lot of things.
I love Jed.
I love what he's doing under the table. Kind of, he's doing some things.
Jed Fish is one of the great offensive minds. I wish he would have stayed at Arizona and to see that thing through. But again, issues with that athletic department financially. But you give Jed Fish real facilities or real support staff, it won't take long. It will not take long for Jed Fish.
Yeah. Let me ask you about your Miami Hurricanes. They have we got 2 videos for you. They're doing some things in the equipment room. And, okay. They always had a black and orange though, right, Steve?
That's like from 2017 on is when they started doing the blackout, the Miami Nights thing once a year.
Yeah. Now they have
I don't know. Look, the kids like it. It's for the recruits. It's for the younger generation. I still think Russell Athletic made the best looking Miami jersey ever. I love the fact in the old days we had an orange jersey and a white jersey. We didn't even have a green jersey. We were the New York Yankees. We had the pinstripes. We had the grays. That's it.
ain't nothing like that all white. That all white look good to me.
That's the best Stormtrooper look. That's also a new thing. But when Miami in the early 2000s went with it's funny. People don't realize this. Before Oregon did all the uniform and the helmet variations, Miami was actually the school that Nike said we're going to start experimenting with different combinations.
Yeah.
So throughout that Ken Dorsey,
Florida too.
That whole era is when they went to that kind of that Buck Rogers spaceship uniform, and we'd go green on green, white on white, orange on white. It was kind of strange. But again, the kids, your uniforms will look good as your team. It's the truth.
How do you play that now when Oregon has a million combinations, have yet to win a natty? And then you got the SC traditionalists, Penn State, Alabama that just will not change anything.
Good for them. Serious people. They run a program.
And they've won more natties than all
I
these.
agree. Look, Oregon's not a blue blood though. Look, Oregon's been a good Oregon's been in the playoffs. They played for the national title. They're consistently a top 20 team for the most part. So they have to look. They're in Eugene, Oregon, and do not have the tradition of Alabama. They had to do what they had to do. But I think every team now has some sort of even Ohio State has changed their uniforms a lot the last 15 years. Yeah. If you actually examine what they've done, I don't think Woody Hayes would have been happy with it, but I think you have to do certain things. And so I like the fact that USC, outside of doing a throwback once in a while, they keep their O.J. Simpson, Charles White, Marcus Allen uniform. I love that.
UCLA did too. They kept theirs pretty much. They went to the blackout.
For the most part, but I got to tell you, I don't like that the newer versions of Bobby Bruin, their little mascot. The Bobby Bruin of the 70s and 80s, now that was a Bobby Bruin. He was friendly. He was smiling. Then they tried to turn him into a grizzly, scaring all the shit out of little kids. I'm like, can I get my old Bobby Bruin? Bailey, give me a Bobby Bruin. Bobby Bruin was cool, man. I liked him as a kid.
He said, that was
a logo. That's what Bill Walton would have been proud of. Okay,
that was a program.
That was a program. But the original Bobby Bruin that was like this on the UCLA lettering. I told that to Phil Trainey. He didn't disagree with me, but
at Poly Pavilion. Remember, I used to be outside Poly Pavilion.
Yeah.
And they got rid of all that shit.
But I think Arizona State had the greatest logo ever with Sparky, and they've kind of changed it. And I'm like, why are you changing Sparky with the fork? The little devil with the. I love that little guy.
It's like Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse, and then they started fucking putting in Minnie Mouse.
Right, and then the other thing is like Michigan with the helmets. They should never change helmets. That's their. Even though I think it's terrible, I like it because it's so terrible. I like the fact Penn State just goes white helmets. White House. That's it. That's what we are. We don't care if you like it. You got
Alabama, same way.
Right. Like when Miami had these Nike alternates back in like Brad Kaya's freshman year, I didn't mind the uniform changes. I hated the fact that they messed with the helmet. I think the Miami helmet should always be white with the stripes and the U. Don't touch, but they touched the helmet. They started having orange and green, and I wanted to throw up. But again, we weren't very good. It would have been better if they won. It is what it is.
No doubt. Are you watching Hard Knocks right now?
I watched it last night. Very interesting.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm hearing it's good. I'm gonna have to watch it.
I learned a lot about what actually takes place. I'm going to leave you with this. They were meeting with Marvin Harrison, and they're going through tape, and they basically said it without saying it. Man, your quarterback sucked. How do you deal with that? This guy was not Kyle McCord. They didn't say it like that, but the subtext was like, man, your quarterback was awful, which is why he's at Syracuse, by the way. Look at that guy.
That's
Bobby
a good brewing.
Look
That's
at that.
how you brew, Kim.
Now, that's how you get top 10 recruiting classes. You have a brochure, and you say, son, come to UCLA.
Nice sweater. He looks nice. He's friendly.
Hey, that's what I grew up on, man. Yeah. Hey, I was born at UCLA Medical Hospital. That's what I grew up on. That's why I'm
I want to do an 8 clap to that. I could just do. Hey, by the way, Smitty, I'm going to leave you with this. You know what UCLA really stands for?
What?
University of Caucasians Lost Among Asians. Pa-da-pa! That's an old joke.
I got another
one.
Who
knew that joke in the 70s and 80s? That everyone knew that joke, by the way.
It's actually nowadays University of Cerritos left on Alondra.
Oh, wow. Wow. They should have a 91 freeway sign. But anyway, but look at that Bobby Brown. Now, that's a school I could represent.
Hey, Steve.
The other Bobby
that is Trevor Wilson, Tracy Murray, Ed O'Bannon,
Reggie Miller, Gaston Green, Cormac Carmi, Freeman McNeil, Troy Aikman,
Sean LaChapelle,
Paul Craig, Kenny Easley, one of the great safeties I've ever seen. But anyway, fellas, I'm going off to Vegas. Have a great week. I'll be listening on the way up there, fellas. Have a great weekend, Smitty.
You too, Thank you, man. Have a good one. Be safe. You West Coast legends, you naming all the West Coasters. I love it. The UCLA aliens. I love it.
Hey, Josh, stay with me on this one, Josh, real quick. This cat right here is claiming Uso. He said he's Uso.
He's in our Discord, by the way.
I want to be clear here. This cat is Uso. We've fallen off. We have fallen off the cliff, homie. Because real Usos don't disrespect their elders, me, and they actually have some sort of respect. And this motherfucker is steady coming at me with some bullshit. I think you're a fucking fafa, homie. I think you're a fafa. You ain't no Uso. I grew up with all Usos. You're a fafa. Because that's what bitches do. They sit there and pick and prod at motherfuckers. You ain't no Uso. You're back to Puerto Rican, motherfucker. Get your ass out of here. He's in the Discord. He's a fucking shame. I should block his bitch ass. Hold it. God damn, homie. This motherfucker ain't no Uso. Where did you grow up? I got to question this motherfucker. He must be from fucking Seattle or something. Where the fuck's he from?
Damn, why you do Seattle like that? That's Bailey Hood. Why you do that?
That motherfucker ain't no Uso. Motherfucker look like a Puerto Rican, homie. Let's move on, Smitty.
I think we do a quick BREAK. I'm gonna move the stick, go take a piss, change my clothes, and wash in the dryer. And when we come back, we're gonna end the show with a bang. Give me 2-3 minutes. We coming right back with more JB Show with Big Smitty. Baby, take it away.
Here, this is the infamous one of the palm trees at Ash 8.
Can't fucking believe you. See this fucking belt? You see it? Who just eats a whole fucking palm tree, man? You guys are fucking shitting me. This fucking unearthed you, motherfucker. Ate the whole fucking thing. Like, who eats a whole fucking palm tree? Like, you fucking shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me? Now, let's shake now. Who did it? I'm gonna look at the fucking camera. Who fucking did it? Sit down. Sit down. Sit. Sit down. Now, do we understand each other? Excuse me. There is no more fucking up palm trees. I'm tired of spending all this money, and now I've created a whole fucking barricade for you. So I don't want to have to dig this bitch out. I'm fucking dead. I'm old. My back hurts. I'm fucking stiff as a porn dick. Come here. Sit down. Sit down. Boy, if you don't sit your ass down. Now, you come over here with me. Come on. Here's what I had to do to fucking stop you. And I got a better, beautiful, bigger tree. So now we are shitting in tall grass. Replanted it, bitch. Soiled it up. Put a little trellis in here. Put a bunch of fucking stones. Look like Stonehenge around this bitch. And now, Ash, are you gonna fucking try to dig this bitch out? Are you gonna do this? Are you gonna do this again?
So I had to. Ash, remember this? Remember you ate this? Did you do this? He ate once. I put this little moat around it, and just a sitting area. Come over here. We got the plastic basketball court and driving range. So if I ever want to pull out the big dog, that's our net. All we do is just slap down our driving range, you know. Bam, swing away. And that's where we swing into the net. Jimmy crack corn on this hoop. And here's my RV parking where I park the whips. Let's take you out and show you a few. Out these double gates, I'll show you a few cars. Come on out. So right here, of course, is the bad boy. The last year they made this Cadillac EXT, one of a kind. Can't find these anywhere. And then you come out here, you got the 650i, BMW, rag top, 500 to the rear, white interior. You know, you can't beat it. This is my baby though, my truck. Full sound, custom sound system in both. Top notch, only as I do. And obviously, this is my crib. Oops. All right, that's JB's Cribs. Appreciate you jumping by, coming by. Listen, it's time to go. Now take your asses and get the hell out of here. I'm about to go cook some slapstick tri-tip. It's been a pleasure. Now go home. Peace. Get to look down on the property. That'll do it. Real Coach JB's Cribs. Peace. I'll never put a hill. I'll never put that shit up on the hill. I let my dogs up there. That's their escape to run around, and it's just so fucking hot right now. I'd never put no garden up there. I was gonna do it years ago, but that's my dog's getaway. Especially if I put a pool in, I'm gonna lose some turf, so I gotta refocus some shit. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I wasn't done talking, so move Smitty out. That's just what it is. What if I was really like that? What if I was really like that? Like, you guys call me asshole, but see, there's a difference between an asshole that, like, barbershop banters, and then there's a difference between a real asshole. Like, there's a real asshole in the world. I'm sure you guys have ran into them where they just are like out in public, like just like a fucking non-personable, like non-social asshole. Like says rude shit. Like someone that never met you and just be like, and would cut you off, or you know, like in a store, like you've met them. I know you've met people
for sure.
There's a difference between like a real asshole and like a cat that's willing to be argumentative because he understands the dynamic and the environment. There's a huge difference. I don't think people realize.
Really a nice guy, like off cameras and stuff like that. He just you have a quick trigger. Like you can go from 0 to 200 real quick and then back to 0. It's pretty impressive, actually. I don't know if it's like a.
Thank you. I was about to say that's a chameleon.
Yeah, I guess you would call it a skill set, but it's one of those things that can be used for positive or negative. Just depends on the situation and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen you cuss out. Was the T-Mobile? Like you went from laughing or joking, eating food, or drinking Palomas to out of nowhere. You motherfucker, shut you motherfucker, eat a dick, you bitch made God. And we all looking, all the homies looking like, who?
I did that.
And then you went right back to like, yeah, man, it's gonna be a good fight tonight. I'm like, damn, how the hell he just do that? So, you know, that's it. It's pretty impressive. But he's a nice guy, y'all. He's super nice. If he met any of y'all in person, as long as y'all wasn't coming up to him on some like weird stuff, he'd be the nicest cat in the world. Take a picture with you, answer your question, all that. So, moving on, though.
The kid yesterday scared to take a picture with me.
I bet, yeah, because how you're portrayed and some of the
again,
stuff you
portrayed, and people believe,
but also some of this stuff, JB, you got to take accountability for.
People
you got to take accountability for.
People portray you. So guess what? You don't know people that don't know me and assume to me are just the worst people in the world. I'm gonna be honest. Because Smitty, all we can make assumptions and you can have opinions.
Right.
But you've never heard me one time discuss another man's job and act as if I know and understand it. See, that's the difference between me and these other fucks out here who think they know what I did and what I do. Like it is, I would never go into to Fox and say, Smitty, you're horrible at this shit. I have no clue what you do. I have no idea what it takes, what it entails. Motherfuckers really going, you are a horrific coach. You don't know. Yeah. And I go, what do you do, homie? Bag groceries at Walmart. Fucking give me some context here. Like, at least give me a fight. Like, at least say you coached somewhere.
Yeah, like you did something. Yeah.
This shit is embarrassing, homie.
But what I'm saying is the reason why some people are scared of you is like, for example, I'm not, and Vonnie, he's not scared of you. I'm sure he's not. But just use him as an example. Let's say y'all ran into each other in person later today. He may feel like, because of the energy and how you cussed him out today, he may feel like maybe I shouldn't approach JB based upon what was said earlier and how, because again, the way you cussed them out, we don't know if you're serious, if you're playing, so if someone doesn't know you, JB, and they're just now meeting you, they're going to use all the stuff that they've seen, and they're going to be like, maybe I shouldn't approach him because he's kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Again, start none, won't be none. Why is that on me? Why is that so hard to grasp?
No, I'm not saying
none, won't be none. It's fucking unbelievable, homie, when I see you fucks out here. And then you'll sit there and talk shit. And you'll sit there and give a whole nother fucking story about me. You've never met me, by the way. You'll tell a whole story about me. And then I'll bark back. And motherfuckers are sitting there like, oh, you're real mature. How's that? You're a real nice guy. Hold on. You just called me a bitch and just said XYZ that you know me, motherfucker. But now I bark back and I'm the asshole. That is what the fuck wants me off social media so bad, because of you fucking pussy cowards who can talk and talk and talk, but can't take it back. Like, hold on, homie. If you're going to start something, then get ready to be something.
Answer me this. Why do you think that kid was scared to take pictures of you yesterday? Why?
Because his mama wanted to fuck. I mean, that's really what it was.
All right.
That's a whole nother story. I don't want to get into that.
Moving on to our last few topics here. So we talked a little bit about Hard Knocks, and me and you both need to kind of tune into it. But there's been some clips that's been, floating online, and one of the clips shows some footage of Brian Daboll and Jaden Daniels working in the NFL pre-draft meeting. So I want to ask you, do you think Jaden Daniels will be the Rookie of the Year this year? I know we're talking about predictions a little bit earlier today. Let's keep the predictions flowing. Will Jaden Daniels be the Rookie of the Year this year?
I mean,
see, you listen, huh? Nah, you listening, but you're not hearing what I'm saying.
I did hear this one. Sorry. All right, now I'm done. I put my money on him as the Rookie of the Year, right?
Did you?
Sean King and I did, yeah.
I think you did.
So again, but what do I know? But yeah, I already did that. So yeah, moving on. I already did it. So thanks for bringing it up.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he wins.
Listen, he's got McLean. He's got McLaren.
Yep, Naptown legend with the Cathedral private school.
Yeah, he's got McLaren. He's got some weapons on offense. I want to see how good their O-line is, number one. Number two, how good their defense is going to be predicated on how good of an offensive year he has as a rookie.
Right.
And so can that D-line eat? Can that defense do enough to get him the ball in opportune times and moments down in the red zone? Because we all know if that defense gets a turnover down low with a rookie QB, it makes his job a lot easier than having to go 90 yards every fucking time because the field was flipped on a punt. It's going to be indicative of how good this kid is as a rookie. And no one will talk about that because y'all talk about stat guys. You'll all talk about all that. So I just want to be clear. That is where I'm at with this. It's all about whatever happens around him. That's just like the Daniel Dimes argument, the Sam Darnold argument, the fucking Zach Wilson argument. All the guys who I think are uber talented that have been a victim of horrible environments, and no one wants to bring it up and talk about it. I just think those things matter, especially when you're a young QB. Cam Newton is a perfect prime example of his rookie season when he threw the ball for 450 yards 3 times out the gate and then never threw for 400 yards again in his career. Remember, he did that as a rookie, never did it again in his career. So I just want to be clear. It is a very, very critical element in this whole thing when it comes to your environment, surroundings, and play calling. Play calling, to be honest. So, like, are we going to get the turnover, Smitty, in the low red, and we run the football 3 straight times, and then we try to go for it on 4th down because the statistical, analytical guys say it? Like,
right.
Come on, man. So
no, you're right. All those factors will play a role, and that's why. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he won because of his talent. But I just look at the Bears team on paper right now, and that's all we can go off of right now. I think the Bears on paper, both offensively and defensively, are just a better team, and Caleb Williams is in a better position. So I just think that he should be the favorite to win Rookie of the Year, not because I think he's so much better than Jaden Daniels. Because I still don't know how great Caleb will be. I am on board on the line for saying I think he will be a good player. I think a lot of this or some of his skill sets will translate. Now, will he be an all-time great? Will he be generational? I can't predict all that, but I do think he will be a good quarterback. But we're talking about just rookie season. I just think, to JB's point, the Bears have more around Caleb Williams to support him both offensively and defensively, to where I just see that I kind of feel like the team will have a better year, and then statistically, Caleb and Jaden will be close enough to where Caleb will get the edge. Is my prediction. So we shall see. We shall see, man. But
go
ahead.
I think that's interesting. It's going to be interesting because Rookie of the Year, we're going to break that down as we get forward into this as we approach 7-8 weeks out from the NFL season. We're going to start diving into certain position groups: wide out, running back, linebacker, DN. We're going to dive into who we predict will have great seasons, and I think that there's going to be some interesting rookies out there. So that's just kind of what I think. Bailey, just do it right now. Nobody needs to know. Put the sign up. Fuck all the thing. I know he wants to make it pretty. Smitty, real quick though. mama.
Breaking news. Kawhi Leonard out for this summer's USA Olympics, and he's been replaced by the Celtics' Derek White.
Wow. Big news by Bailey. Breaking news. Kawhi Leonard, man.
Derek White. Derek White, Bailey, is the best America has. That's America, and then American sports are not on the fucking decline.
Derek White's a hooper, though. Don't disrespect him. Now he ain't no superstar. He ain't a superstar, but he's a good-ass player.
I didn't disrespect him, but let's be honest. I didn't disrespect him, but I said that's the best America has.
Nah, but you got to think about who wants to go out there. I mean, there's other names. I mean, Paul George comes to mind. I'm just off the top of the head, but like you got to think about guys' schedule. You got to think if I wasn't already preparing to be a part of this, my schedule was different now. My summer stuff is set up differently. So there's probably a lot of guys they couldn't bring on last minute. No one was expecting this. So now it's like, all right, who's the best player that we can get to just bring on last minute? Jalen Brunson comes to mind. But again, these are cats that who knows what they had going on since they were not planning to be a part of this. So, hey, Derek White's a guy who can go out there, play hard, play defense like a Drew Holiday who's already on the team. And, hey, I mean, I'm actually not surprised, man. Kawhi Leonard has been hurt all year long. And I hadn't heard anything about him being healed. So the fact that he was even on the roster and taking pictures with the team in the first place, I was like, okay, maybe he's healed. Maybe they know something that we don't. Kawhi, man, I think he's at a point where he may need to think about retiring. And I mean that seriously. And I like Kawhi a lot as a player. When he's healthy and at his peak, the guy's a mid-range assassin. They were comparing him to MJ because of his ability to play on both sides, his large hands, the mid-range, all that together, man. He was a problem, man. But this knee situation is a real deal. And he just can't seem to get it right. So I truly think Kawhi needs to consider retiring for his own health and to just kind of, and being real, kind of protect the team, protect the Clippers. And when I say protect, I mean like you're kind of holding them hostage. You lost PG, who was your number 2 guy. In some cases, he was your number 1. A lot of cases, he was your number 1. You're supposed to be the number 1, but you're hurt. So it's like you're getting paid all this money. The Clippers can't do nothing with it. So I just don't understand it, man. So I guess it's a shocker to a lot of people, but when I really think about it, it's not too much of a shocker because he's been hurt all damn year.
Listen, it's not a shocker, but it's a true detriment to what people think when they hear load management and why it goes hand in hand with this man. I love the man's game. I thought he was a top 2 player in the league in Toronto when they won it all. Like, I thought he was different. I thought he could lock down your best offensive player. I thought he was the clutch in the
different. He was.
He's fallen off the world planet, bro. Like, he's just it's so discouraging to see. And I question, I just want to question things because I know people, he played right up the street here at Riverside King. And I question because I know guys that coached him on that at high school. And they had questions about certain things he did there and at San Diego State as well. And I'm like, seems like it's catching up to him. Like, did he not want to play through a lot of little things, nicks and knacks, bruises here and there? I'm not saying he's not injured. What I'm saying is I question certain things when I hear that he did some things like this as a youngster fully healthy. So, like, if he did those things fully healthy, why would you not do it now when you make all this money? Like, that's all I'm saying. So, like the true opinion of Derek White replacing Kawhi Leonard just to me doesn't get that American star-studded power in return. You lose Kawhi Leonard, you should get a Jaylen Brown, no?
Yeah, that's somebody. That's somebody who I would have wanted.
Derek White, the receding hairline, Derek White.
Jaylen Brown,
I like his game. I like Derek White's game. Trust me. I think he's great.
Brunson, I'm trying to think off the top of the head, just guys who are stars who played, even the Donovan Mitchell. I'm just naming just guys who I was considered like just better. But again, I don't know. Maybe they reached out to these cats and they just couldn't do it, didn't want to do it. Schedule again. Like this is the Olympics. This is a huge commitment.
But that's my thing, though, Smitty. That's my point on again why I say American sports are in decline.
Jimmy Butler, D. Jones, a good one. There's a lot of other options, but
that's all. That's all I'm saying. I just think the American sports are in decline, whether you want to play or not. You don't want to play for this country. Like that's why I say American sports are in decline. Like I don't care about all that. Like. Let's be real. You don't want to play for this country. Tells you, tells me, tells us something. And there is a decline in this country. Let's just be honest. Like American soccer, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say American soccer is our fucking backbone, right? We know nothing about it. I don't know nothing about it.
Never has been. Our men's.
But Smitty, this was the most hyped up American soccer team I can remember. And I think Nadu will tell you that. And everybody thought this team was supposed to go fucking deep. And they get fucking waxed early on again, proving my point. American sports are down.
Our men's soccer team has been bad for a little minute, so I don't know that I hear you, but I don't know if that's the best judge or indicator. The men's basketball team focusing on basketball, they're still gonna go out here and win the gold. I'm gonna be real with you. As much as you say decline, all that, it's still gonna win the gold.
But I wouldn't be shocked if they lose.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the competition has increased. The Spain, these other teams, they're better. Canada's even better. Like a lot of other teams are better.
So you're proving my point. Has it increased or have we declined?
No, see, we look at it differently. You're looking at as like Americans have declined. I don't think so. I think we're still very steadily around the same level we've always been in terms of dominance and greatness, I would say, from a skill set. But the other countries have actually improved. You're seeing way more just talented players from these other countries, so they're getting better. So I just think you're looking at it differently. These other countries they've caught up some and gained some ground because they're getting better. But you're looking at it as they're like the same, and we've came down to their level. Now I don't see it that way. Our roster is still loaded right now. So like I'm not too concerned. I don't know how much Kawhi was going to be playing anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about the dream team with I compare it to like Larry Bird, right? All-time great. But for the dream team, he had a back issue. He was hurt. He wasn't like prime Larry Bird healthy. They didn't need him. They still fucking dominated. This team, and I'm not comparing this team to the dream team. I'm just using it as an example, just for clarity. But this team is KD, LeBron, Joel Embiid, AD. Like, these guys are loaded. So I don't really think – yeah, it's a little bit of a shocker because the name value, but will it have a huge impact on the team? No, they're still going to win the gold. But moving on, though, back to the rundown here. Ryan Day tells my guy, one of Fox Sports' all-time great analysts, in my opinion, Joe Klatt, why he's giving up the play-calling duties. Check this out.
Take me through the decision to step away from play calling duties.
One of the other challenges at Ohio State is you're constantly chasing this 1 or 2%. You know, in the last couple of years, it's been a drive or it's been a play, and you got to identify the things that are working really well and enhance those. But then, identifying and being accurate about the things that you need to improve, and then being self-aware enough to make those decisions. And I think, as you move up, you got to give up. And that wasn't easy for me, but I feel like the time is right now, with the transfer portal, with NIL, there's more and more energy and time that needs to be focused on the players and in those areas. And I also think that it's going to allow me the opportunity to be more present with the team, especially later in the season. And so, that was one of the decisions that were made. But I think that's the thing that you're trying to go from really, really good to absolutely great. And I saw a great interview with Coach K, and he said the difference between my great teams and championship teams almost always came down to one play. And I was like, ooh, that hit me like right between the eyes, because that's kind of how it's been the last couple of years.
Wow, pretty good sit down, good interview. Shout out to Joe Klatt, man. Show has really grown over the last year or so. But JB, let me ask you this. Do you actually agree or disagree with what Coach Ryan Day said there in regards to giving up the play calling ability or duties in order to just spend more time and focus on other areas? What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good topic because here's why. The last year that I left Indy, I was in the process of hiring an offensive coordinator for the first time in my life as a head coach because I was always a play caller, play installer, and if I was a head coach at the same time, I also was the OC. Just like Sark, Lane, a lot of guys, a lot of guys did that forever. And then I wanted to start becoming the CEO, more of a manager type of style, which I was going to try to do a better job in hiring. I was going to do a better job in managing and get off the offense and control this whole thing and take Indy to a whole nother level, which in my opinion, would be the powerhouse of powerhouses to this day. Now, having said that, that is exactly my mindset right there going into 2018 season or 2019 season. I was exactly going to do that because that is what it takes at the next level. Urban Meyer figured that out. Pete Carroll and Nick Saban figured that out years later. They started to relinquish the defensive play calling duties. Urban relinquished the offensive play calling duties when he got to Utah later in life. After his Bowling Green run, then he went to Florida and he still had a big say in it, but he hired Dan Mullen. He hired other guys that were offensive savvy that he believed in. You got to find the guy, though, and that's the problem. I was going through the process of finding a guy, coming up with the money to pay the guy to actually run an offense where I was totally off the deal. Like, I might come in and suggest something, but I was not going to be a dictatorship. That was number one thing. I was like, and it was scare. It scared a lot of coaches from wanting to take that job on, knowing that I was an offensive guy, knowing that I was a QB guy, knowing that I was the go-getter that brought in the talent for that particular offense. Because remember, in college, you run an offense based on the talent you recruit.
Right.
Versus high school taking a job or something like that, where you have to take what they give you. Nowadays, you can still do it, but you can go get the recruiting blood life that you want to run whatever offense. You want to run double tight end and two back and 12 and 22 and 32 personnel, you go recruit it. If you want to run 10 personnel spread or throw the ball over the park, you go recruit it. So I believe that is why I would have relinquished it, but I had to find that guy. And a lot of guys don't want to come in there with Ryan Day and say, oh, man, the reason they got Chip Kelly. Do you know the history of Chip Kelly and Ryan Day? See, that's a lot of people don't know. Ryan Day was coached by Chip Kelly in college. They have he GA'd for him. They have a relationship. And you know, it is what it is. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. It's a big time year, I think, for Ohio State. You know, Michigan is going through some changes. Obviously, with Harbaugh leaving, they lost against Michigan with the last 2 years, or was it 3? Last 2 for sure. So, I mean, I just think it's, you know, you're hearing rumors that this is the most talented Ohio State roster of all time from Urban Meyer and Tressel and others, you know, media as well. So I think it's kind of like it's that year. I'm not saying like he's on the hot seat per se, but it's a little warmer than it was in the last few years, I'll say. It ain't cold. You know, I think there's some expectations, you know, 12-team playoff system now. You know, so yeah, I think this is a big year for Ohio State to go out here and really show something. So but I think we got some real talker jaw jacking I wanted to transition to. I know you had like one more like topic in there. I kind of want to switch the speed up a little bit if we could and go to real talker jaw.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to end the show on a breakdown though, but go ahead.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
One time. I feel like you got your heart broken one time, and that just really fucked you up.
I wouldn't say I had my heart broken. I started to understand women a little bit more as I got. Well, early on, I understood that like she's not mine. Even if she may be my girlfriend, she might be influenced by other people.
No. KD, you're selling yourself short of the greatest energy in this world that is love.
So
I mean, he's right, but
I
bro,
don't trip on that relationship. If we having a good time for a moment, then cool. If you end up venturing off, and I do too, it is what it is.
But don't you know anybody that's been like married for like decades?
Yeah, I
What
know some
about
people
that?
that are married for a couple weeks.
Yeah, but you're focusing too much on those people.
I'm focusing on everything.
Sheesh. JB, I gotta ask you. I don't know if you're the biggest KD fan or not, but on this particular topic, is that real talk or is he jaw jacking? Coach JB.
It's feminine energy, number one. So I'd say it's jaw jacking. I can't listen to that shit. There's a reason why he's a bus rider and not a bus driver. I'm just gonna be real with it. I mean, he's a bus rider, not a driver, and he's definitely not an alpha male. He definitely doesn't want to be an alpha male. He actually sits there and wants to take it in the rear, apparently, because he's just accepting it. You don't accept it. You either accept it or you coach it. I'm trying to figure out which one he's doing. So I'm good. I'm cool. That's all, whatever you call it, jaw jacking. It's sad to watch.
That's what, like, I feel like if someone else said this exact thing, JB would have said real talk.
No.
Because I feel like you said this before in your own way. Like you said that you can't.
Yeah, you know me. I'm against marriage. You know me.
Right, you're against marriage. You feel like you can't trust women. You feel like the women ain't really yours. Like
that's not what he said though.
But
that's not what he was saying though. That's not what he was saying though. He was saying that even though I'm with her and all this old shit, he basically was saying he's okay with being a side dick.
I guess we took that differently. I feel like he was saying that.
I read through shit. That motherfucker's like, I'm good. I'm good with it. I'm good.
He learned that if I'm with a girl, like she ain't necessarily mine, meaning that she gonna probably still do what she gonna do.
So there's no confidence. There's no alpha male in there. Then, like, there's no dog in there. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and second guess my motherfucking self that I'm worried about this old shit. Like, nah, there's no. I don't understand. See, I think this is a results-oriented life we live. You're either something or nothing, first of all. You're either an alpha or you're a beta. You're either a winner or you're a loser. You either graduate or you don't. You either win or you lose. I don't think there's a middle ground for those things. Coach, right. He played hard, Coach. He deserved it. No, he didn't deserve it. He lost. I'm just saying, the last time I checked, Smitty, they look up, and they fucking see the scoreboard. And whatever's on it is what's on it. I don't see no fucking Independence could have won, but they lost 29-28. I don't see that on a scoreboard. Have you ever seen that on a scoreboard?
Never in my life.
The Eagles could have beat the Chiefs today, but they came up short. I don't see that on the scoreboard. Did you?
I never in my life.
All right. Well, I'm just making sure. Can we transition? I don't know if you have another one of those, but if not, I want to ask you something.
Go ahead, end the show.
Let's end the show and let's show this. Let's show this video of Brian Daboll on Hard Knocks, talking to the QBs and breaking down the QBs. I don't know if you saw this or not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't have that video. My bad, Bailey. Can we find the video of Brian Daboll talking to the quarterbacks? My bad. I thought that's what you had in there. What is the Hard Knocks? Brian Daboll, Jaden Daniels. There we go. That's what I meant. We're good. Show that.
Oh, show it again. Okay, let's do it.
We showed it already?
Yeah, we did. We showed it earlier when I was asking you about the Jaden. This motherfucker losing his mind right now live on the show.
No, it's actually okay. I was thinking about another video, but I want to talk about it. I want to show this video.
Yeah, let's show it again. Let's actually play it. That's all. It's all good.
But we didn't play the sound, though.
Z, make him the F. Erase the X and make him the Z.
We did not show the fucking sound on this.
No, we did. We did.
Hey, what are you talking about then?
I'm saying, but we played the video and we had a whole discussion about Jaden Daniels being Rookie of the Year and all that. So yeah, it's all good. We good.
I'm not tripping on that. I knew I wasn't tripping. I'm with you. I just know we didn't play the sound. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, we good. Same page, brother.
Nah, you bullshit.
Hey Jay, erase that Z, make him the F. Erase the X and make him the Z. Erase the W, make him the X. Erase the T and make him the H. Ready?
Yep.
Gun trolley right, 64 house X in. Give it back to me. Nope, don't look at it.
Oh, you want me?
Give it back to me how we call it.
The whole play?
Yeah.
Gun trolley right, house FN.
Okay, X in.
X in.
That's okay. And then if it's cover one, what do we want you to do? Probably.
Don't touchdown.
All right, I like that answer.
I used to do this with the QBs all the time, by the way, and then get them to read. And by the way, I think NFL verbiage is the most overrated, overhyped thing in football. I think coaches do it just to stroke their own ego. You can say the same verbiage with many less words and many less things so the QB can get to the line of scrimmage and actually play the game and have no stress. The number one stress on a QB is the huddle call.
Right.
That's the number one.
I never understood. I'm glad you brought that up, JB, because I just never understood why are the play calls so long. You know, on defense, hey, base force, shock. Like it's shoot, and we all know what we're doing off one word. I get it's different. You can't do it off one word per se, but it doesn't need to be as fucking banana Y split X curl route, my route. Like damn, that's a lot for one person to remember. Then you got the play clock. Then I got to know the route. I got to know the cover. I got to watch and see who's hot, who's not, who's like. It's a lot for a quarterback to understand and read within a short amount of time. And I watched that.
I watched that whole clip, and he had what's his name, Drake May, I believe, on there, and he had some other guys he went through the process with, and I believe he said Drake May was like unbelievable with coming back with everything and all that. You can reiterate all you want, and there's a lot of people out there that I used to have great quarterbacks test and off the chart, and they got out there and couldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. Scared as a hoe in church. The verbal shit is cool, but like command of the huddle and all that is number one, and those things. But you can talk about all that you want. He had a great breakdown with Drake May talking about the flag route and what they call it, and versus what you call it, and tundra, which is 2 under. That's a known thing. I mean, it just different things that they use verbally, and I just find it to be like, because listen, I'm also a guy that coaches. I want to be politically correct here. Not the brightest kids on the street.
Thank you, Lord Jesus. I know what you wanted to say. I'm glad you. All right, keep going.
But I love them to death, by the way, and I wouldn't want to coach anyone other. And I've had great, smart kids, of course. I've had Brad Sorensen, who played in the NFL quarterback for a long time. I recruited him personally and played for me in JUCO. His whole family. Daniel Sorensen, who's an NFL quarterback, Super Bowl champion. Brian Sorensen is their brother. I've had all these guys that are super smart, no question. But I've also had the guy that you have to say, doubles right, orange, Houston. Like that's all you need. Orange is the protection to the right. We'll slide to the Willie on the back door, or our back will take the Willie, and your hot is in your face off the Sam. And orange is the protection, meaning we're 4 down to the Mike or the Sam, regardless of what it is. And then this is your read. This is the concept. Here you go. Or if we want to flip it, we go doubles left, Lake, Houston. Very simple. Houston's hitch. Doubles right, River, All-Star. All-Stars, all slant. I'm an acronym-based guy. I'm an acronym. A and the S. All-Star, all slants. Boston. Acronym again. Bubble, slant. BS. Boston. Houston, hitch. Easy. Arizona. Arrow, fade. It's real simple shit. Peel. P-E-E-L. P-E-E-L. Peel. Post wheel. Pout. Post out. So
you a bad boy.
There's ways to do this where the players get up there fast and go, okay, let's go. Like pout.
Give me one more.
You can't fuck up pout. Search. That's the whole play. Search is a concept, but guess what? This is the no huddle signal. Search. I'm searching for an opening. So it's a zone or a man beater. So there's a motion man. He's going to run the search concept, meaning he's going to search the opening, and we're going to have derivatives off it. We're going to have a Sam backer read, a Mike in the hole, and whatever those two. If those two vacate, search guy, you sit down.
Replace. Sit.
We'll throw you the ball right now. If it's
they stay, go past them.
You keep running man. It's a man beater. All right, what about pickle? Doubles right, orange, pickle.
Doubles right. You got two to the right. Orange is the protection you said. Slide right. Boom. Pickle. What we doing with pickle? Fuck. What we doing with pickle? I'm trying to think it. Pickle. Is it pick route? Pick route?
There you go. So, like,
I'm a bad boy.
Don't you think that I can run that in the NFL and even get more out of my players? Like, that's just, I don't understand why it's such a fucking brain surgeon fucking thing. My player, Garen, fucking, give me these NFL players and let me run. All right, here's my screen game. Rocket. Laker. What's Rocket? Rocket's my slip
screen.
Slip screen to the right. Laker, slip screen to the left.
Yep. Point blank period. Simple.
What is Turbo and Tesla?
We're going fast. Tempo. Go. No huddle. Run. Get to the ball.
Turbo's tailback screen to the right. Tesla's tailback screen to the left.
Simple.
Then you have red, yellow, and green. That's our tempos. Red is huddle up. Yellow is hang. Yellow's hang huddle at the line of scrimmage. Green is we're going. So, like, real fucking, it's not Brainiac, dog. And guess what? I make it hard on the defense, but easy on us. So,
I like that.
Everybody in this chat right now can run my offense, and they don't even know it because how simple and dumbed down I make it. And it's not hard, dog. It really isn't. It's not fucking rocket science. But we make it so much harder than it has to be because we want to add a – by the way, here's my motions. W is my outside receiver for widest guy. Okay? Guess what his motions are? Whack, W-A-C. What does that stand for? W across.
Yes. Damn.
Win. What is win?
Inside.
W in. That means you're only motioning in.
Yep.
What is Wooloo?
How you spell it?
W-U-L-U.
Under. To the left.
In and out.
I like that.
What
You're
is
a bad boy.
What is yo-yo?
Wide to the outside.
Why is the tight end, right?
Yep.
So if Wooloo is in and out, yo-yo is in and out.
Yep. Wooloo and yo-yo. Just different position.
What is hack? H-A-C.
Tailback is the H, right?
No, it's H is my slot in 10 personnel. But if whack is W across, what is hack?
Across. Same way.
H across. What is Zach?
We're changing the letters.
What's Zach?
Across. It's all the same. Different person, different personnel.
What's
know your
in?
letter. Know who you are.
What is in?
Come on, bro. He's keeping it simple. Same language, different letters. I was over here. Hey. Weak. Cowboy. That's it. Simple shit. Corner blitz from the boundary. We all slid to the field. You know what I mean? Defense was different. Defense was
torch?
simple.
What is and by the way, the X never motions because he's a backside on the ball receiver.
Mm-hmm.
What is so it's easy. He's out. The X never motions. So I don't gotta even come up with some fucking crazy X word. He don't motion.
He chilling.
So what's a tailback motion? Torch. I mean, it's not real rocket science, dog. River is protection for quick game to the right. Lake is protection for quick game to the left. Roger is 5-step drop to the right. Larry is 5-step drop to the left. If I say Roger free, what does that mean? That means the tailback is free to the Roger side.
Come on now.
Larry free, tailback
to the left side.
To the left side. Real fucking simple.
Pretty simple.
But guess what? All right, now you want to talk run game. Orange and Ollie. Outside zone right, outside zone left.
You bad boy, JB.
But what if I said doubles right, orange, lock. Doubles right, orange, lock.
Stay where you at. It's lock.
Lock means backside tackle for the run game. So doubles right, orange, lock, apple. That's the whole play. What does that mean?
Doubles right, orange, lock, apple.
What is apple? Apple's A-gap defender.
A-gap.
I'm reading them. I'm reading the A-gap defender. What is doubles right, orange lock, Baker?
You reading the B-gap.
Now,
Three technique.
What is doubles right, orange lock, Baker, all-star?
All-star. A-S.
All
still got Baker. It's still three tech, but it's all-star. All-star. A-L, all-A. Now, because A-gap was Apple. All-star can't be the same thing. So
all it is I'm reading the B-gap player on an RPO. So the B-gap player is not going to be a D lineman in this instance. I've already called it that way. So B-gap would be the backer in B-gap. If he takes the back on orange,
run it.
I'm throwing the all slant behind him.
If he goes to the quarterback,
I'm giving the ball.
Get it up to the. Yep.
There you go.
Look at these Jones. God damn, Smitty, all-star stand for all slants. Hey, I love the film room stuff. That was my bread and butter.
This guy has
I got a text from our guys at Winnable real quick saying that he said, "Are we cool with our meeting in 20 minutes?" He said he got some exciting news.
I didn't even know we had a fucking meeting in 20 minutes.
Well, it used to be on the schedule every Wednesday. We just didn't meet the last few weeks, but he got some exciting news apparently. So, can you meet in 20 minutes?
This guy right here has a picture of me. Fuck all that other shit.
Oh, is that you?
I guess he's so fucking gay that he took a picture of me eating, I guess. And he says, always trying to prove. This is a guy that is so envious of me. And I don't know why these people exist. I think all these humans right here should be castrated and thrown into a barrel somewhere with acid. Like, that's just the people I believe they should be. Like, who the fuck has the energy to do a picture of someone else and then talk about them once I just basically was spitting some common knowledge because you don't understand it. Whatever his name is, James Durham, because you're a nobody. You work at Walmart. But you took a picture of me. You probably jack off to it every night. Very cringe, homie. It's very sad and cringe.
Everybody hit subscribe, man. Become a member. Join our Discord. Today was a very loaded show. Tomorrow we actually will be in studio.
Too late.
Special guest Sheldon Day, 8-year NFL vet, will be in studio with us for at least an hour. We got what's tomorrow? Thursday. We're gonna bring in some other folks. So with Shaun, like I'm on to Friday. So Sheldon's gonna be in tomorrow. We might bring in a special guest. Loaded show in person, man. And don't meet us there, beat us there, man. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on social media at Darnell_Smith95. Follow the Coach JB show and Coach JB. And JB, any closing thoughts? Positive word for the show before we close out.
What is Irish lock? Baker All-Star.
Inside run to the left.
Inside zone to the right. R for Irish.
Yep.
What's
the lock mean again? The lock is the protection for the tackled, right?
So the tackle. So I don't have a defensive end in my face reading a backer as well. I can't read two guys.
Right.
So lock means I'm blocking the front, and then I'm reading B gap.
Got you.
All right, let me add. All right, what's this then? What's this? Doubles right, Irish. You don't hear lock.
Yep.
Irish lightning.
Inside zone lightning. So
that means the tackle's railing to get the backer. We're reading the DN. The DN crashes. We pull it and we read the backer to throw the lightning bubble screen.
Got you. So it's just a different key that your guys are blocking on and reading, basically. That's all the lock and lightning is, but it's still inside zone. I got you. Okay. All right. It took me a couple times to hear it, but then once I hear it, I got it locked in. So
hey, what is possum and plum?
Possum and plum. Possum and then plum. We think possum. What the fuck is possum?
Power to the right. Plum is power to the left.
Fuck, power to the left. Damn, I knew I was thinking. Oh man, should have got that one.
So what is doubles right? Possum, lock, pout.
Possum. So it's power. Got the possum. Pout. We talked about pout earlier.
What do possums do?
Play dead.
So that's play action. Anyway, let's move on. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the realest show on planet Earth. Peace.
Issues get pressed so fast it don't get sacked like bags and baggage. Smitty and Jason Brown, kill the ass a rap. We what the game's been missing.